Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. But first, if you're watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know that we have timestamps down in the video description, so you can hop to any part of the stream that you would like. So make sure that you check that out, or just look along the bottom of the video player from whatever device that you're watching this on, and you'll see those chapters broken down there as well. But when I say we, when I'm talking about we are answering your YouTube questions, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D.
Came in hot today.
Came in really hot today.
We came into the studio.
Yeah, we've been in the studio for like 8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes. We opened the door, and he said, we are live in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, all I need is 6.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he said he was going to vacation for the other 2.
And then I had to reboot the computer because nothing changed in here from the last stream.
Yeah.
But StreamYard was like, hey, guess what? We're not going to connect into your stuff this time. So I had to reboot it.
Yep.
Here we go. But how was your week? Hope everybody hit those milestones. Hope you had a great week.
Yep. Yeah, so I hope everybody had a fantastic week, like D said. I know it's been a fun week for me.
Are you okay over there with the microphone?
Yeah, I just like adjusting it. It's a thing. Depending on how my posture is that day, I adjust it, based on that. And then as the stream goes and I start kind of compressing, then I'll move it around from there too.
So we're going to answer your YouTube questions today. Then I'm going to give you a little piece of advice here for a second. If you have a question that you want him to answer or me to answer, go down to the description. We have a form in the description. Put your question in the form. It is first come, first serve. Now, here's my advice to you. No, my advice is to mic arm creators. If anybody from Rode is listening, Rode makes a lot of these microphones. Make a microphone arm that doesn't cause noise.
Wick, wick, wick.
But it has fidget spinners and fidgety things on it.
That's good. That's
so
good.
you can
sit there and spin stuff. So you can just mess with it.
So you can fidget the microphone without actually having to do something.
Love it. Yeah,
and it doesn't make sound.
Yep.
So it's like a frictionless.
Yep. D knows me right there.
It's like a frictionless, quiet microphone arm that you can fidget multiple things. So if you get bored fidgeting with one thing, you can fidget with another.
I like it.
There you go.
So if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that because we are answering your YouTube questions, we have a form down in the description where you can put your questions. We get them answered in the order that they are received. In addition to that, I put a link to that in the chat here as well. So you can also, access that same form. If you are watching this on Twitter, or you're watching, X, or you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, you can go to nicknimmin.com/ask, and it will redirect you to that same exact form where you can just go ahead and get your questions in there, and we will get it answered on the stream today. I also want to let you know if you are participating live on YouTube, I have a form pinned at the very top of the screen. So my app is, I'm right now battling with Apple, trying to get my app approved for content creators. It's an iOS app. So at the very top of the screen, I have a form to where if you want to get notified, of course, I'm going to talk about it on the stream and all that. But if you want to get notified when that app goes live, just go ahead and put your email address into that form. And then I will just let you know as soon as it goes public in the App Store. So in terms of what's in the app, it's going to help you come up with unlimited video ideas. It has a content counter to help you, organize your content and make sure that you're publishing on time. It has reminders to make sure that you're working on things when you need to be working on things related to your YouTube channel. It's got a thumbnail tester, so you can upload thumbnails into it, and it's going to give you feedback on your thumbnails, so it can help you improve there. It's got upload checklist, streaming checklist, thumbnail checklist, all kinds of things that you need as a content creator. So just make sure that you do put, your email there in the form that is linked at the very top of the screen. So when that does go live, hopefully this week, that you can get the email and be notified.
So Tube Spanner in the house with the
What's going on, Danielle? Thanks for the super chat.
And I have to say, the speed at which she wrote this pun, this joke, if you will,
microphone like
that was quick.
To cancel it.
Danielle's
got really bad feedback. Oh,
just click on your feet. She was right on top of the road thing. That was good.
Yeah, it was.
I'm only going to give you a half sad trombone. Yeah. I'm going to give you like a wah, wah, and that's it.
So not the whole thing.
No, you don't get that.
Okay, all right. So it's a half. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We need like a little graphic that pops up that's like a little rating system
like
there.
You get 2
and we
notes.
can have like a 1 through 5. Notes. Yeah. And we can just hit the play button on that so that we can figure out
the full sad trombone.
So you can be the judge.
The full sad trombone would play on 4 notes. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
You have 2 notes.
Okay.
That is 2 notes on the sad trombone scale.
Yeah, it's good.
So we have coined a new scale today.
All right, love it. Sad trombone scale.
Yeah, 2 notes. Good job, Danielle.
So the very first question that we have today, and by the way, if you are just joining us, we're talking about all things related to YouTube. So if you have a question about anything it is that you're doing on YouTube, there's a form down in the description. I've also pasted it here in the chat, which I will do again, where you can get your questions answered. So if you do have a question, go ahead and put it into the form that I just dropped in there so we can get you covered here today. If not, then just sit back, hang out, and listen to me and D, kind of joke around and talk about other stuff.
I see Dream asking, is it available in the Play Store? And while I read that, I thought it would be an excellent troll to make these available in the Play Store. And then when they download it, it just opens up and says, buy a real phone.
So
it's not actually the app.
Oh, that's great.
It's just a little,
that's great.
It's a troll. Yeah. It's a troll. Buy a real phone.
Yeah, so it's not available in the App Store right now. So basically, once it goes out into iPhone, if people, like it as much as I think they're going to, then in that particular case, if, people are requesting, an Android version, then in that case, I'll try to figure out how to make one.
Yeah, no, I actually started out on an Android, so I'm not really feeling
me too.
It's just fun. Just
started out on Nokia, actually.
Yeah, when someone is building an app,
Motorola, technically.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're going all the way back there.
Old school.
Yeah.
My Motorola fee used to be around $2,000 a month.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you kids
remember, you have the little flip phone. Like I remember the first time I'm like calling people, like you wouldn't believe where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's like
I'm driving in my car.
Yeah, I used to spend around $2,000 a month for a telephone, a mobile telephone. Yeah. That's how old I am.
It's wild.
Some of you who've been around a while know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
wild.
So. The Blind Bard is our very first question here. Blind Bard uploads one time per week or more, been on YouTube for less than 6 months, does entertainment content. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what I like. And the question is, I plan to start live streaming soon. Besides YouTube, I'm also on X, TikTok, and Facebook. What are some things that I should know or watch out for when first starting out? It's a good question. So when it comes to multi-streaming is fantastic, and it's good if you have one central place where you can see all your comments and things like that. But if you don't have that, and you're using a bunch of screens for it, then it can be a little bit overwhelming. But some things that that I recommend that you just kind of keep in mind or that you should be aware of is that people will likely come into your live stream and troll you in some way. Yeah. So because of that, having somebody that you trust that will, mod for you, that would absolutely be helpful. When it comes to copyright laws, all of that stuff still applies to live streams. So make sure that you don't have a TV playing in the background. Make sure you don't have any music playing in the background. Make sure you're not showing anything on stream through like screen sharing or anything like that, that, might get you in trouble from a copyright perspective as well. Make sure that when you are packaging up your live stream, in terms of, you're making the thumbnail and title for it. If you are using it on YouTube and you're going to be doing a landscape live stream where it's going to be showing thumbnails to people, make sure that you do, just consider like, okay, if I'm going to be, sharing or showing or talking about these things in my live stream, then let me make sure that I have a thumbnail that helps the people that I'm trying to reach identify that it's for them, right? Like on mine, I always put, creators only. That's something I've been doing recently. Put a YouTube logo to grab your attention, that kind of stuff. My face for the people that, that know the stream, that kind of thing. So, just make sure that you are packaging it up in a way that will help the people that you are trying to reach identify, that stream might be something they want to participate in.
Did they say that they haven't started streaming yet?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My advice on top of everything that he just said is I would not come out of the gate multi-streaming. I would focus on a single platform first so you get the gist of it. Because what you're what you're essentially doing is giving yourself the possibility to have multiple problems on every platform that you open.
Yeah.
Sometimes just YouTube alone can be, a squirrely, I guess the word I'm looking for.
That's good.
Sometimes
good.
YouTube by itself can be squirrely. And until you learn how to identify what these problems are and how to fix them on the fly while you're streaming, I don't recommend opening up multiple apps to do that with. Yeah. Start with one, get a good understanding of how the one works, then add another, get a good understanding of how that one works, add another, and so on and so forth, rather than coming out all guns a-blazing. I do believe in trial by fire, but not trial by fire while being attacked by multiple armies. Yeah. I think that's kind of an unfair advantage.
And wild animals.
And wild animals.
Yeah,
and
I
wild
agree.
animals.
I agree.
Yes. Or a gorilla. Have you seen, there's like a whole trend on Twitter about 100 men versus a gorilla.
Yeah, so that started with Mr. Beast, I believe.
No, he got in on it.
Oh, he got in on it.
He got in on it.
I thought he was the originator of that.
No.
He just jokingly said something in passing, and now people are making all these like memes about it. I'm a little bit out of the loop.
He got in on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't start it. Somebody got in on it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 100 men versus
one gorilla,
silverback.
one silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
And people have even like done simulations where they use AI.
way.
You haven't seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Dude, the internet is undefeated.
Yeah.
They've simulated what it would actually look like for a gorilla to fight 1,000 men.
Oh, nice.
And then they took it further and they were like, God, what was it? Like 100 gorillas versus 10,000 men. Like they kept upping the ante. And it's hilarious. And they just go in and just destroy the guys.
So how does it do with 100 guys against the silverback? How does that simulation work?
The simulation, the gorilla just destroys them all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But it's funny because there's like...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know, the details. I know what a silverback is, but I don't know the details. Like, because you know how some animals, like, they have, like, strong burst energy.
Yeah.
And then after that burst is gone, they just kind of peter out. I didn't know if, like, a silverback was like that or not.
It's just a fun conversation.
Put them at a disadvantage.
Because, like, wildlife experts have been coming in and, like, people who, like, work with gorillas. Nice. And they're like, I don't know, 100 men could probably take the gorilla, but the first 10 or 20 are going to die.
Nice.
Yeah,
so good.
Hilarious conversation.
Love it.
Yeah.
So JJ Bolognese says coming back to Bangkok tonight. Nice, welcome back. Enjoy that humidity when you come in. The smoke is pretty much gone now. So it's making little appearances here and there, but because it keeps raining, it's kind of getting rid of that stuff. So great timing on coming back. So next up on our list here, we've got. By the way, if you,
I just want to add to the gorilla thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Mr. Beast got into the conversation, and he was hypothetically, because obviously he's not going to. I don't know, Jimmy. Would you do
maybe.
that?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, okay, maybe I should do 100 million. Who wants to volunteer?
Yeah.
And Elon had previously said, if Mr. Beast does it, I'll be one of the
nice.
guys. So we might lose Elon.
Yeah. Well,
fight.
Yeah.
Sacrifices must be made.
Yeah. Sure. So next up, we've got Jabari's Fitness Channel. They upload one time per week or more, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do health and fitness content. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, how can I transform my channel into a multi-million-dollar business? I want to go back to Vegas and start a gym with over 3,000 members. So if your channel is going to be used to drive business, then in that particular case, I would definitely make some type of fitness content that would be relatable to people that are going to the gym or that would be interested in gyms, so that as you start kind of ramping up that thing, you start working on the project through your content, you can start, kind of hyping it up a little bit, letting them know it's coming, let them know, plan it out with them on, streams, maybe that kind of stuff if you wanted to, in order to build some type of hype around it so that once you do get around to launching it, then you would have that. But along the way, you could help fund that by having affiliate links for gym, related things. You could put courses together around, getting fit, targeting, the whole body or different parts of the body or different types of, fitness things, and have them set up into different courses, that kind of stuff. In addition to having them standalone, put them on like Udemy and Skillshare and, all those types of places, and just spread as much awareness about it as possible, possibly run ads.
Here's what I would do
for that to, to get it, so that you can basically be funding this particular journey. And then as you're doing that, make sure you're just learning how to make really good content that adds value to people, and then just rinse and repeat.
I don't know what your budget is, and I don't know how much you're willing to invest up front, but I would, at the very least, start watching videos from Alex Hormozi, because somebody just mentioned that in chat too. Imperial Remnant. That's what he did. He made his money in gyms originally.
Yeah. Happy early May the 4th, by the way.
Yeah, happy early May the 4th. I would go follow Alex Hormozi, and if you have the budget, and I don't know if he does mentoring or coaching, but like that would, like if your goal is set high, and that's what you want to do, and he's already done that, that I would go listen to that person as well. Yeah. And and it's not only about how to open the gym, but just how to. I mean, he talks about how they streamline their sales and everything across the board in terms of gym membership. Yep, I get on that.
So I'd start doing that. But keep in mind, you're going to have to, like, I don't know how things currently are on your channel. I'm just going to look really quick because I'm just curious.
Oh, they're a 15-year-old with no money.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so you got a long road ahead.
Yeah, get on the grind then. Yeah, so right now, you're putting out videos. You got 276 videos. So just keep going, keep learning, keep focusing on making videos, get into affiliate marketing, start making your own products. That's going to be how you can start generating some revenue. Because you're 15, you can probably invest some of that. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Can I want to, first of all, this message is to everyone who is, let's say, 35 or 40 plus. Can you imagine? By the way, tell me, how many of you in here are over, say, 35? Just say yes if that's you. How many of you, especially if you're older,
hey Chris,
40, 45, 50, how many of you look at this opportunity that is social media and think about, we were talking about this today. I think there's a really bad side of social media in terms of what it can be doing to kids and their development and the psychological stuff. But on the flip side of that, the opportunity that the youth of the world are being given is just, I can't even quantify it. Like it's beyond anything that I can even wrap my head around, especially for the youth who want to be hustlers.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us grew up.
The ones that are like, hey, I want an opportunity and I'm going to take it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that grow up, and probably a lot of people on this stream, you probably grew up as a kid hustling things, selling things, figuring out ways to make money, whatever it is. Like that type of a young person.
Applied to social media.
Trying to actually build something. By the time, I mean, you might be set within a year or two, but by the time you're into your 20s, so that if you continue to do things, you continue to learn, and you find the right mentors, by the time you're in your mid-20s, like you'll be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's people walking that path.
I'm envious. I'm envious that the opportunity.
Huge opportunity. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Super chat. Yeah, what an amazing.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just keep going, keep learning.
Yep.
I love that you're 15
and you have plenty of time to like try stuff and like mess up and listen, it's great.
Listen, man, I've had so many businesses and I built them, crashed them, like made money, lost. Like, don't worry, it's part of the journey.
Yep.
Like, don't freak out. You have your entire life ahead of you. Just hustle hard, man.
Yep. But yeah, man, focus right now on learning how to make good content. Do it on YouTube, do it on TikTok, do it on, Instagram. Like, put yourself all over the place so that you can just learn, because you're in a great spot right now in terms of just time that you have. So spend time just publishing everywhere and just be really conscious about the, just how your videos are performing. And I would be studying other fitness content and trying to understand, like, man, these videos that do well in the fitness world, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And just do everything you can to try to serve that. On your channel itself, I would actually wrap your entire channel, the value proposition, around fitness for young people. So then that way you're connecting with people that can directly relate to you. So the whole thing, instead of it just being, your fitness channel where you're trying to reach everybody, make it, fitness for young people. And then that way you can start to build like your own like tribe of people that are going to follow you on this journey, and you're going to help them get fit. And then they're going to, they're going to be supporting you in that capacity because you've impacted them, like all the way around. Like, just learn, like focus on learning how to make the content.
Yeah, and I'm going to add one more piece of that, because you're 15 and you have big goals.
Yeah.
I just think that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And you can definitely do it. But I want to say this, and I know you've been through, you've had multiple businesses and you've sold stuff, crashed. It's part of the experience. When, like, you're going to hit that goal if you stay focused on it, you're going to hit that goal. But the things that you're going to learn along the way, you're going to find that once you hit that goal are going to allow you to not only run a gym, you're going to learn the skills necessary to go in almost any direction, to open up any sort of business. Very few people just say, I'm going to do this one thing, and then they stick to that one thing. Like, usually success isn't that straight line. It's like, it's a roller coaster of things.
On top of a mountain.
It's a roller coaster on top of a mountain that goes through tunnels and splashes through water and all of that. But you're going to acquire the skills required to go into any direction. So don't be surprised if when you get to that gym, you're like, I want to do something more, or I want to do something else. And that's fine. That's part of the journey. Good luck to you, man.
Yeah, other things too, man. Like if you're wanting to, open a gym and do that kind of thing, like, you should talk about that on your channel too. And just start getting people behind you, right? So it's like, hey, I'm making these videos because I want to, impact, people's health, and I want to open a gym by the time I'm, 20 or 19 or whatever the thing is. And I'm using this as, the way that I'm going to make it happen. And then start getting people like rooting for you and things like that. And because of the nature of YouTube and the internet in general, there's a really good chance that while you're doing that, as long as you're making good content and, people are enjoying it and you're starting to get some attention, there's a really good chance that you might even run across people along the line that'll be like, hey, I'll invest into your gym, or, donate to it, or, whatever the thing is, to kind of help you get there a little bit faster.
Yeah, I'm going to add one more thing to this. And I know we're going on this for a while, but I just think it's amazing. Build your channel. Listen, be cool. Be cool to people. Don't get sucked into the negative aspect of social media. Make sure your social media accounts are brand friendly and family friendly. And the reason I'm saying this, and I know it's easy to kind of leave mean comments sometimes. Listen, keep it together. Keep it professional. Keep it respectful. And I say that because once you start to build up your channel a little bit, and maybe you're documenting your journey, I'm a 15-year-old. I have a dream of doing this. You're going to get to the point rather quickly where you're going to start being able to interview people that are doing the things that you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can bring them on and you can ask them questions. Learn how to interview people. Learn how to run a podcast, and then speak to people who are doing the things that you want to do. Learn from those people.
Yeah.
And keep stuff clean, man. Keep it brand friendly, family friendly, keep it professional, so you can attract the right people who can hopefully invest or mentor you, or at least give you some great advice moving forward.
Yep.
Yep.
And another thing too, on top of that, make sure, because, you're young right now, and because of that, there's going to be, a lot of different people in your life and things like that. And make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that are supportive of this dream that you have. Because, there's going to be a lot of people, especially because you're young, they're going to tell you that, it's a silly idea or whatever the thing is. But, you need to make sure that you have people around you that, support your idea and they understand what you're trying to do, and they celebrate those wins, right? Because you're going to have a lot more people, especially if you start, putting this stuff out on the internet. You're going to have a lot more people in your comments and things like that giving you a hard time, saying it'll never happen and that kind of stuff. But if you want to realize the dream, so to speak, then in that particular case, just make sure you are surrounding yourself with people that support those big goals that you have, because people will try to
tear you down,
take them away from you, because people that don't do things like to what's the saying? Misery loves company.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, people that don't have the audacity to take risks, they like to pull down people that do, that are willing to take risks.
I'm gonna go one more on this one. Yep. One more, because I know there's a lot of young people, and this doesn't even apply to young people. It's just across the board.
Yep.
I'm not a fan. There are a lot of influencers out there who will say things like, "Oh, ditch your friends that don't support." I don't believe in that. But
I don't either.
But I do believe friends are friends, and everybody has a reason why they're friends with certain people.
Right.
But I do believe in this. You should have a couple of people. Maybe it's only one person. Maybe it's two other people. But the more people you can put in your circle, that they don't have to have the same goal as you in terms of, I want to create a gym, but they're at least on the same page. It's like, hey, I'm around the same age. I have big goals, big dreams.
Trying to do some stuff.
I'm trying to make moves.
Yep.
I want to use YouTube.
Trying to get some walking around money.
Trying to get some walking around money. I want to leverage YouTube and social media so I can accomplish these goals. So you can hold each other accountable.
Yep.
So you can share things that you learn together along the way. Doesn't have to be a lot of people, one or two different people.
Yep.
Do that.
Yep.
Make sure you have at least one or two other people that you can talk to about this. Just pick them up, chats, whatever. And like, hey, here's what's going on. Hold each other accountable and keep pushing. Keep pushing each other.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
So next up on our list, really quick,
Homekeeping.
Homekeeping channel. Thanks for the super chat. It says, "Hey Nick and D, I took your advice last week for how to creators on just filming the on filming the sections of the content that you need for the how-to video. It saves so much time and frustration. Thank you."
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that was D on that one.
That's right. Damn right.
Yep.
Don't forget it.
Love it. Us plus tab. What's going on?
I'll be taking that super chat. Thank you.
Yeah, right. So
it's gone from your account already.
There it is. It's already
gone.
toast.
It's out.
There it went.
Yep.
So so next up on the list here. And by the way, if you're just joining us, we're talking about everything related to YouTube. If you have a question, you can go to nickniman.com/ask, or I've got a link directly down in the video description where you can put your questions down there as well. And I also have a link at the top of the video description as well. I have an app coming out soon. As soon as it gets approved by Apple, I've already submitted it, and I'm just kind of battling them, trying to get through all their details. But that should be coming out relatively soon. So if you want to get notified when that happens, it's for content creators. So if you want to get notified when that happens, then definitely put your information in the link that's pinned at the very top of the screen.
There's some great advice coming into the chat. Just in general, love this community.
Nice.
And David says, older people being older has some advantages too. Absolutely, it does. It does. So trying to learn bikes is our next question. They do motorcycle maintenance content. The question is, as a motorcycle maintenance channel, many of the videos are evergreen style. Do you recommend occasionally changing titles and thumbnails or keywords in the description and tags to freshen things up? Or is that a risky move that can be more negative than positive? Cheers to both you and D in advance for your always brilliant advice. You guys are legends. Thank you for the kind words. So when it comes to that, you can change things up, but there isn't a guarantee that it's going to be better or worse, right? Because you can change it based on, maybe you've learned a lot since last year when you published those videos, and you can look at your videos and say, yeah, it's really like, it's not easy for people to identify what this is actually about. So let me make some modifications to it. In that particular case, give it a shot, but just make sure that you're monitoring things, because, as much as those types of changes can help things, they can also hurt things as well if it causes people to start responding in a negative way. So because of that,
that. I do recommend that, you know, if you are going to do that, that you just pay really close attention to those changes, that you also back up. So like, for example, if you're going to be changing things, have a spreadsheet with the date that you changed it. Within that spreadsheet, have a link to your thumbnail that you have uploaded into your Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that, of the original thumbnail. So in case you need to switch it back, or you can just use YouTube's A/B testing tool. And then that way you still have both of the thumbnails inside of YouTube, you know, in case you need them, or all three of the thumbnails. But when it comes to the title, make sure that you do make a note of like, this is what it was before, this is what I changed it, this is the date that I changed it. So then you can just go in and, you know, check on it from time to time to make sure that it's helping, keeping things the same instead of hurting. I probably, yeah, you know what, I will. Yeah, I'll show it to him. Well, they're not releasing it until like next week, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't think they'll get upset. Right? Maybe. I mean, who knows? Yeah. You know. Yeah. Let me show it real quick.
This is a question for Tube Spanner. Tube Spanner, do you get upset when people show products that aren't ready to be released yet?
Let's see here.
Whoa.
Oh, I said they can't hear you.
Okay. There we go.
So I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of something.
That's hilarious. I just walked into this whole thing of trying to like, get you to do something, and they couldn't hear me.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I love it.
This for you. This, yeah, he wasn't going to do it. Talked him into it.
Hey, so I want to try something really quick, and I'm going to show this to you guys. They're not dropping this until next week. It's currently in beta, but I just want to show this to you guys. So
before we get into it, you have a member question that just came in from Melinda.
Okay, what's the question?
My 11-year-old grandson uses his dad's account. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as the dad gives them, you know, permission to use it, it's fine. There's a lot of kids that do that sort of thing. So like a younger person can have an account, but it has to be like a parental, you know, account essentially. So that's like a perfect scenario for that. So it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, Doug said he thought I was having a stroke or something.
Yeah,
So I just over talking to myself.
That's funny.
Okay, so this thing that I'm getting ready to show you, again, it's in beta, so they're still kind of polishing it up, getting it ready for the actual release of it, which is happening this coming week. But it's Opus Clip created a free thumbnail maker. And how it works is you take a link to your video, you drop it in here, and then it generates a thumbnail based on the content of your video.
Can you show it?
Yeah, I'm going to show it. Yeah, I'm going to show it.
Are you allowed to show it?
So I'm going to anyway. So... Yeah, so who here wants me to run one of your videos through this?
Ooh.
Yeah, so if you say me, I'll just go to your channel, I'll grab random links, and then I'll just drop them in here, and we'll run like 5 different channels through it.
Okay.
And we'll just see we'll see how it comes out.
Okay.
Let me get this open in a few extra tabs too, just so I can do that efficiently.
We have some, while you're doing that, I want to address something I believe someone said in here. How old do you have to be to use YouTube? 13?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So someone said in here they were 13 and people were making fun of them for making content.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that happens quite a bit.
Yeah, let me say this to someone who is 13 years old.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm going to be grabbing some random thumbnails here.
Yeah. Yep. Listen, you're 13 years old. If you have friends that are making fun of you for making content, you're at a really difficult age where other people your age, it might be a little younger, it might be a little older than you, they like to make fun of things. They like to make fun of things that might be different or things that they're not doing. It's a really awkward time. I'll say this. If you're going to be on social media and you're going to put yourself out there in any capacity, you have to thicken your skin.
Yeah.
You have to understand that people are going to say things about you. You're not going to please everyone. You're not going to make everybody happy. Some people are going to love you. Some people are going to like you. Some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to say really mean things to you. That's the way the world is. So if you're going to get on social media as a 13-year-old, make sure your parents know what you're doing. Make sure that you take full advantage of YouTube's mute and block word feature. Make sure you learn how to hide users from your channel. We have videos showing you how to do that. And just understand that it can be hard sometimes, but you need to toughen up.
Yeah.
You know, just understand if this is the path I'm going to walk, it is going to be a difficult path. And if you want to get there, if that's the path you want to go down, you know, put your blinders on, put your earphones in, whatever you got to do and go down that path. Just understand that people are going to hate, people are going to say mean things. Don't let them distract you from your goal. Whatever your mission is, don't get distracted from the mission. They don't understand it. That's fine. But I promise you this, when you get to the end of that, once you accomplish something and once you get your channel to a certain size, those same people that are hating on you now are going to be in support of you.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there while you're struggling. They want to be there after you've succeeded.
Yes.
So keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Remember who tried to pull you down when you got started.
All right. So let's see here. Okay, so we've got one that's at like 92%, another one that's at 65%. So yeah. So with the thumbnails that I've pulled, and I didn't actually save I didn't keep the video tab open.
Are we
so
pulling
I
you
might
up
have
here?
to do it again. But we'll see. So one of them here, the very first one, I'll just show it once they're finished loading. So basically what I've done is I've grabbed 4 channels. Let me grab another one here real quick. I grabbed some channels here, and we'll go to this channel too. So we'll grab one here from
I think we'll give, again, more great advice from the community. Tell the bullies it's for more views. You know, when you post a video, tell the bullies it's for more views. Yeah, I think that was Lego Tours.
There we go.
Yeah, just do your thing. Don't worry about them. There's always going to be haters. They're just saying, I was mean to people. I mean, I wasn't a bully, but I was mean to some people when I was 13, 14, 15. Yeah. Unnecessarily mean. I shouldn't have been, you know. But I wasn't a bully, but I was just, you know, kids are kids.
Sure.
Stupid.
Sure.
I mean, I was still stupid at like 30 and 35 and stupid at 40.
Yeah.
Stupid at 45.
Yeah.
You know, around 50, I started figuring it out.
Yeah. And then at 60, you're going to be like, yeah, at 50, I was an idiot.
Yeah, right. but at least at like 50, I was kind of like, yeah, you were pretty much, you know, you could have been better. You know, you shouldn't have done it that way. But whatever. That's part of the journey.
Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, so while I'm waiting for these to load, so I've got my screen open while I'm waiting for it to load, and then I'll show you the results of this, and I'll show you how to actually use it, where to get it, and all that stuff too. Like right now, I'm having like one thing pop up that says it's like an internal server error, but it's still processing. So I think we're still good. But like I said, it's in beta. So okay, we got some that are coming through. Okay, so this is a first one. So there was a Lego channel.
That was it.
So here's one. Here, actually, let me see. Oh, yeah, here's another one that loaded. Okay, yeah, we'll wait for more to load.
Home rapid repair, still stupid in 50. Learning. I don't, prior to that, I was like, yeah, you know, you could have, you did some stupid things. 50, I'm like, not necessarily stupid, but just.
Some life experience?
Some life
experience out of that?
Yeah, a little bit, enough knowledge to understand that I had been stupid in the past. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Ask me again when I'm 60, and I'll be like, yeah, I was an idiot when I was 15.
Right. So I'll answer another question here while we're waiting for those to load. So the next question that we have is from Home Rapid Repair. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. Uploads
Joe,
one time per week or
I'm
more.
50, Joe, not 60.
Does home improvement content. And the question is, I recently signed my first brand deal with a real contract and money.
All right.
High five and fist bump to you. Love that. Congratulations. Says, I was surprised how many weeks and many emails it took back and forth to foster this relationship. And they're often slow to respond as they're on the other side of the world to me. Nick, do you have any other advice for dealing with brands in addition to being patient and professional? So when it comes to that sort of thing, like sometimes it does take a while because, you know, you might have your contact there and then that contact might have to approve things and, you know, that kind of stuff. And then they might have to go back and forth internally to kind of work out details and that kind of stuff. And then once they present that to you, if you have any modifications that you need to make, like these things can take time. But this is one of those things that you should also keep in mind when it comes to your pricing too. So, you know, when it comes to the brand deal, there's the side of like, yeah, the content that I'm making, but then also the maintenance stuff like this, you know, the amount of time that you spent just going back and forth. And then once you're in motion, I don't know if this is like a one-time deal or a long-term deal, but like once you're in motion, if you have to hop on calls occasionally and things like that, as part of the thing, then trying to factor those sorts of things into your pricing as well, are all things that are, you know, advantageous to do. Okay, so we got 4, and this first one's just having like problems. So this first one was Creator Classroom. I'm just gonna hit refresh and see. Yeah, so the first load here is having problems. So I'm gonna go back to her channel and I'm gonna just grab another one while I'm here, and then we'll just show the results of some of the other ones.
People are talking about the 1900s. The 1990s.
Okay.
I've talked about this. If I could go back with knowledge or without knowledge. Back in time with or without knowledge, it would probably be like 1990, 1992, 93, something like that. Just a different time. Great era.
Okay, so I'm just going to do the whole window over here, and then we'll just share this. Okay, so unfortunately, I didn't actually mark down the name of the actual video itself. But how this tool works is you take the tool and then you just drop in one of your video links, and we'll do some other ones during the stream here a little bit later too, just so we can, and I'll actually mark those videos down so we can kind of see how accurate it's being. But this particular one was a Lego channel, and again, I can't remember the actual video, and I don't see anywhere on here to show me where the actual or what the title is of the video.
Is this the original thumbnail you're showing?
No, this is the one that Opus Clip made.
What?
Yeah. So it's messed up. If you look at the top up here, you can see that, you know, the top of the start is in the finish is kind of mashed up against there. Plus, it's replicating the start versus finish. Yeah. So, you know, they got to do some work on it.
What was the original? Where's the original?
Yeah, that's what I said is I didn't mark that down. Like I just opened them up, grabbed the video, and then closed it, and then came back here because I only have so much screen real estate. But in terms of, you know, just running it through AI to where all it did was look at the video itself, and then, you know, and then it made this out of the video. The second one, I think this was Shark Scrappers, and on Shark Scrappers video, it was something about a cash register. This one's a little bit weird. I mean, you know, if we call it what it is, and it also looks very similar, right? Mm-hmm. See how we have that? But in terms of the graphics that it's making, the text it's putting on there, pretty cool, right? This one, wow, look how similar they are. So here's something funny. Ooh, this is different. So I was testing it on my channel when he showed it to me. And it was also being really repetitive like this. So I'm curious if it does that in batches, because it was a totally different look that it was doing with mine. So I'm curious if it does that in batches. But this is also taking a very similar approach. Old versus new, right? So it has the 2-panel, start to finish 2-panel, effective, secure 2-panel. Text still isn't nailing it. And then this one right here, Vermont Art Retreat 2005 for stamp carving. So put I think this might be the entire title.
Look at that
that was on there.
Look at that cottage.
But, you know, considering that, you know, this is the beta version of this,
yeah,
this is pretty
in.
cool. Yeah. And
this will get dialed in.
Yeah. So so this is really cool. So we'll do some more later. As long as they don't send me a message or anything and tell me to stop, we'll do some more later, and I'll show you this. But yeah, later in the stream, basically, in order to try this for yourself if you want, you know, maybe I should wait for them to, I'll just demo it. I'm not going to tell you like where to get it. But we can, you know, we'll just demo more here a little bit later.
I think they might be similar because you batched them.
Might be.
It may have thought that these are from a similar channel. So I'm going to try to make a similar.
Might be.
Maybe.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I just opened up different tabs and then dropped them in there. So yeah, but that Vermont one, the title of that Vermont one was Art Retreat 2025 in Vermont for stamp carving from Autumn Hathaway. But I mean, pretty cool. Right. So one of the things, and Tiffany actually just said this here as well, but one of the cool things for this, in my opinion, and this is what I was telling Connor over there, is that I think this is going to be really cool for like, man, I don't know what I should put in my thumbnail. So let me upload my videos unlisted. You don't want to make it public yet, but upload it as unlisted, and then take the link from the video, put it in there, and just run it a few times and see what it comes up with and see if it sparks any ideas. I think it's going to be really good for that particular thing. And then I'm still waiting on the Creator Classroom video here. So yeah, so we'll pull that up here in just a little bit later. Scale Train Station, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. So so next up here on the list, get back into the questions. So we have. Did I close my screen? I did. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have Captain Katarn. Captain Katarn says that they upload every other day. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, hey, Nick, I'm restarting a dead channel, and I got some momentum this week, 1,000 subscribers and decent views for me. I want to make a few videos that might not have as wide of an audience. Is there a ratio of wide interest videos versus experimental content that I should follow? Does YouTube punish channel reach for trying a new genre and topic and not getting results on that video, or should I stay in my lane? So the thing that I encourage you to think about, and I actually had a really in-depth conversation about this. I did a podcast yesterday with Doug Piper is his name. And with that particular podcast, one of the things that I brought up was the importance of having an avatar or a particular type of viewer that you're trying to reach with your content. And we had to explore that, you know, a little bit more in depth just to kind of, you know, get the idea across. But like I had talked about that. Leron had, you know, mentioned that same exact thing in a podcast with him. And I think some of the other people did as well. So the idea is that when you are publishing videos to your YouTube channel, it's more important to think about like what type of viewer am I trying to reach with my content, right? Think about the goal that you have, and then think about the type of viewer that you're trying to reach, and the type of person that you can make content for that will also help you reach that goal. So that goal could be something, you know, through YouTube, it could be something off of YouTube, whatever, but thinking about, okay, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. This is the things that I'm interested in, and the type of content that I want to make. Who is the type of person that I'm actually going to be trying to serve with this? And this nuance gets really important, because the example I like to give, just because it makes it clear, is that if you have a travel channel as an example, and you're making content for a travel channel, you need to take a different approach if you if your avatar is somebody that, or your type of viewer that you're trying to reach, if that person is somebody that is vicariously going to be living through you and your experiences, and they're watching your content as an entertainment experience, then in that particular case, they might not have any plans of taking trips to the places that you're showing in your videos. So because of that, you need to make sure that all of the content that you're publishing on the channel is a good fit for that particular avatar. So you're not necessarily showing, like, you know, travel tips, or, you know, what you keep in your bag, and, you know, that kind of stuff. You're taking those people on these journeys because that's what it is that they're there for. Whereas if you have a travel channel and you are trying to reach travelers, people that are actually, you know, like booking tickets and they're going places, well, in that particular case, those people are going to be watching your content for different reasons. So because of that, if you want to reach them, then in that case, that's where you can say, hey, if you're coming here, make sure you bring these particular things. If you're coming here, these are the places that you might want to check out. And you make that type of content for that particular type of viewer. So when it comes to the content that you're putting on your channel, it's important to think about, for the videos that I'm publishing, who is it that I'm actually trying to serve with this content? Like, what is it? Like, who is it that I'm trying to make a resource of content for through my YouTube channel? That's the approach that you want to take. When it comes to the YouTube system itself, YouTube isn't going to punish you for anything unless you break a rule. But when it comes to the content that you're publishing on the channel, their system doesn't say, today he's talking about the best pizza parlors in Spain, and then today he's talking about how to put brakes on a car. YouTube doesn't necessarily care about that. What YouTube is doing is they're trying to show the right videos to the right people at the right time that they are most likely to engage with and enjoy. So because of that, when you are publishing videos about the best pizza in Spain, and you have people that are watching that video, and then you publish a video about how to change the brakes on your car, in that particular case, what happens is the people that came in for that Spain video and loved your pizza review, and they subscribed to your channel and they engaged with that content, they watch it to the end. When you publish that break video, there's a chance that some of those people are going to get recommended the video. And then if they do, because they were highly engaged in what it is that you publish, YouTube's like, hey, let's try this one against them. And then YouTube will try that one against them as one of the qualifiers of them recently interacting with your channel, enjoying your content. Then what's going to happen is they're not going to respond to that video. And then you're going to start getting messages inside of your creator studio that say things like, hey, your regular viewers aren't responding to this, or your engaged viewers aren't responding to this. And you're going to start to get those types of messages because the people that YouTube thinks is the good fit, that are already engaged in your channel, aren't responding well to the content. So you can put up any videos that you want about any subject matter that you want, as long as it's within the rules, you know, of YouTube. But everything in terms of how your channel is going to perform is going to be based on how the viewers respond to the content that you're publishing. So another place where everything kind of falls apart is, let's say that you do start publishing your pizza reviews of all these different places when you travel, and then you throw in that, you know, brakes video. YouTube isn't going to publish, or isn't going to punish you for it. But if you start to have, like, okay, here's how to fix my brakes, here's how to fix my carburetor, here's how to fix, you know, anything else about your car, then you have these food videos over here, then what's going to start to happen is people are going to start coming into your channel as you build an archive on your channel, and they're going to start interacting with your content. And for the people that are the most engaged, then YouTube's system by default will go and start saying, hey, these people are really liking this content. Let's show some of the other content on this channel to them that that they also might be likely to enjoy. And there, they might also start recommending some of that break content. And the downside, and where everything really comes unglued, is if they start, you know, sending these other videos or putting these other videos in front of people, and they don't respond to them, then YouTube's going to say, hey, we tried them with this video, they didn't respond. We tried it with this video, they didn't respond. We tried this video and they didn't respond. Tried it with this video and they didn't respond. So maybe we shouldn't show content to this viewer from that channel anymore because they're not responding to the content that we're putting in front of them, right? And then you end up breaking that, you know, connection essentially with that viewer, unless you make something that gets just a super high response, and then YouTube might test that against them, and that might bring them back in. But the idea is that it's not necessarily about the experiments that you're running. It's more about the clarity clarity on who it is that you're serving and if those experiments are going to be a good fit for that particular viewer that you're trying to reach. So hopefully that makes sense.
It makes a little bit of sense.
Yep. Anything you want to add to that?
No.
No? Okay. But yeah, like another thing I do want to mention though, as well, is when it comes to YouTube, one thing that YouTube does recommend is if you're publishing videos and you're like, you know what, I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I don't know what I'm trying to build my channel about. I don't know.
Throwing stuff against the
wall.
like
I don't know what I want to do. In that particular case, what YouTube recommends is they recommend that you make content about all of the things that you're passionate about and that you could make content about for a long period of time. And you just start publishing all of those. And then when you have something that takes off and it does substantially better than the other videos, then that's where you start pulling on that thread, right? And you start making content about that particular thing. And then you start saying, okay, so this is, you know, the content that I publish that seems to always do better. So let's start leaning in that direction and start making more content about those things and start serving people that are interested in those things.
Lean into what works.
Yep. In a nutshell, that's the easy version.
In a nutshell.
Alex Sensei, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, hey, Nick and D, do you think that customized thumbnails on shorts are worth the effort trying to test this? But shorts views are wildly unpredictable. They absolutely are unpredictable. So when it comes to the customized thumbnails, like one thing in terms of like picking the screenshots and things like that is those screenshots do give context. When like if you just show up in the feed, doesn't matter. But when you are being shown on like home pages and everywhere else that YouTube is trying to, you know, force shorts on people, or sorry, they're making them available for people. In those places, those thumbnails can, you know, pull people in. So because of that, having some text maybe that gives some context, or picking a shot like right before something interesting is about to happen or a reaction is taking place or something like that, can definitely be advantageous. Morning, Brampton. Welcome to the stream.
I can say this, that generally speaking, the shorts that had a custom thumbnail did significantly better than the ones that didn't.
Yeah.
For my channel.
Yeah, when it came to like the custom so you can actually like make it and upload it. Yeah, that's a totally different. Yeah, same with me.
Back when you could actually make an image and upload it normally. Those just dwarfed the other ones. I don't know why they took that away. Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah. Trying to make the barrier to entry easy. Yeah. In other words, trying to just like let people upload garbage.
Yeah.
So the channel name, the next one here is from Board Game Maniacs. Love that. And hey, really quick, I'm going to pull up this again just to give one more shot of this. So this is pretty cool. So Creator Classroom, I'm going to pull this one up so this is another one on Opus Clips tool here. Check this out.
Are you pulling it up?
Yeah. You know what? I should actually hold on. Let me do the actual.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the whole screen so that so I can show her video.
So this is the first stream from Empire Gamers. Just let me give you an early happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th
be with you.
Coming in tomorrow, coming in hot. Empire's Gamers.
Yep, we've got Imperial Remnants in here. Really cool Star Wars like folklore channel. Make sure that you check that out.
How many
since
people,
you're into Star Wars?
So we've had a couple people I see, and I missed them before. I couldn't go back and highlight them.
What are we doing? Like May the 4th tomorrow, and we don't even have like a helmet out here. Like what's going on?
Okay, so I'm gonna rectify that in a second while you're pulling this up.
Okay.
But if this is your first time in our stream, say yes in the chat.
Yes.
First time in the stream, say yes in the chat.
Yes, my first time here.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. We need to give proper welcomes.
Yep.
To everybody who is the first time in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get some Star Wars stuff.
Go for it. So right here, so basically the video that I put in here was from Creator Classroom, and the title for this is How I Wisely Upgraded My YouTube Setup Without Going Into Debt. Good video, by the way, great topic. But the thumbnail that it made for that was this. So it shows like an overhead camera, a microphone, got a light over here, a little bit. This little arm out here is a little bit, interesting, we'll call it, right there. I need to turn my doodler on.
That just took you out of focus.
But, oh yeah, it does.
Those help do it every time. Hold on, let me put it over.
But yeah, so basically you put like a monitor on here, a camera, a microphone. It's got like a little overhead rig. Maybe it has the overhead camera. I don't know if you mentioned something about overhead right inside of here. I'm not sure. But right here also it shows the light and all of that. Pretty cool. Yeah, really, really cool.
I think we can get them both on here.
Don't think so? I mean, you could wear one.
I'm not wearing one. I can't see. Maybe I can do this one without a phone.
Okay, I'm armed with my doodler now.
Is this going to take you out of focus too?
Got to log in.
Anything I put on the table. Oh, that's not cool.
Okay, doodler fully loaded. Okay. let me get this into a place where I like it. There we go. All right. So next up on our list here, and you got it?
Don't hit that.
I'm hitting it. I am hitting it, D. I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it. Just because you asked me not to. Hitting it. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right. So next up on our list here for the questions, so we can stay on track. That was definitely not what I was looking for. Hold on. Opus Pro, and boom. Okay. No, that wasn't what I was looking for either. Okay, we'll come back to that. So next up, we've got Board Game Maniacs. Did we do this one already? Okay, Board Game Maniacs. They upload bi-weekly content, but on YouTube for a year or more. The goal is to quit their job and be a full-time content creator. The question is, how can I get my channel on track for monetization, more views, and be able to do this full-time? Not looking to get rich, just to be able to do my passion without the feeling of guilt. Thanks again for all your great content and education. Cheers. So when it comes to getting your channel on track for monetization, the very first thing that you got to think about is how easy it is to monetize the content that you are making. So I'm not sure what is currently available when it comes to, like board game affiliate programs and that sort of thing. But basically when it comes to YouTube, you have, a nice handful of core options that people typically go through. The very first is, of course, ad revenue, and then all of the other on-platform things like live streaming, getting super chats, channel memberships, things like that. So once you get into the partner program, then you can start using some of those things for monetization. Then you have affiliate marketing. So if you do find, and I'll just do a quick Google search, and all I'm going to put in here is board game affiliate programs. And there's affiliate programs for a lot of things. So I know a person here. Yeah, affiliate links on board game review sites, 13 best board game affiliate programs. Yeah, so you've got affiliate programs. So start bringing attention to things as an affiliate. The way that you can do that is by making review videos, list videos, that kind of stuff that would help people, find new games that they might be interested in. And then, of course, as a part of that, I would also implement some type of crowdfunding, either through like Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon or something like that, where maybe you can like play with people. Possibly, I know it's board games, so I don't know how you would do that virtually, but it might be something that you need to figure out. Little Acres Farm, welcome to the stream. But basically, when it comes to trying to monetize all this stuff, you are either going to need lots of views if you're relying on platform monetization, or if you don't want to have to get tons and tons of views, that's where you start looking into affiliate marketing, looking into sponsorships, trying to come up with maybe your own games to sell, that kind of stuff. That's where you start establishing like real money without having to get tons and tons of views on your videos. And then if you get tons and tons of views on your videos, then it just amplifies what it is that you already have, which is a pretty cool thing.
So Little Acres Farm, first stream, welcome. A little bit of a special stream. Now we're breaking out the Star Wars gear.
Love it.
Who else do we have here? Yep. Scrolling back through. That was it.
Yep.
Jada Francis, how you doing? Welcome to the first stream.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, who may have come in late, we are answering YouTube questions. So we have a form down in the description. So go down to the description. You might have to dig for it a little bit. I think he kind of buries it down there on purpose to make you look at the other stuff. But click on the form, drop your question in the form. I'd ask you a couple of things. We answer them first come, first serve. We generally get through all of the questions. Yeah. So if you do have a question that you need to get answered, go down there and ask the question now, and we'll do our best to get through it.
Yeah. So really quick, also, Board Game Maniac. So I'm watching this very beginning part of your video, and I'm like 18 minutes in. And while I am 18 minutes in, or 18 seconds in, not 18 minutes, while I'm 18 seconds in, it looks like you don't start the actual content itself until like the 35, right around the 35 second mark. So what you want to do is you want to show people what it is you're building. I see now that you have some type of like close-up thing, and then you got like a cartoon, which kind of leads to your Board Game Maniacs like intro and all that. Just ditch all of that stuff for right now. None of that matters. Instead, start your video in the part where you're actually working on the thing or you're showing the thing. That happens right around like the 35 second mark. The very first thing you should do is get rid of all of that beginning stuff, because what's happening, and I guarantee if you look in your audience retention reports, you're going to see people are just leaving that video quickly when they come into that video. So because of that, make sure that you focus on, okay, if somebody clicks on this, what is the things that they might be expecting to see or hear, or they might expect me to say when this video first starts, and try to meet them with that. And then from there, once you get them through that initial part, then start working through the through the rest of the video. But yeah, so like if you want to get monetized with this and you want to make like full-time income money, yeah, I would even start coming up with my own games. I would spend extra time trying to just learn how to make good content, because at the end of the day, if you're going full-time, you're going to need some views, and depending on how you monetize, you might need a lot, especially with what it is that you are doing specifically. So another thing that you might want to consider if you're wanting to go full-time is you might want to have this board game channel, and then you also might want to just look around. I have a video on my channel called How to Make a YouTube Channel for Money, I think is what it's called. So if you put that into YouTube search and then put my name after it, that video should come up. But that video shows you how to just look into things and see how you can monetize a channel, and how you can verify, like, yeah, this is something that I might be able to actually generate a substantial income from, so that you can make sure that while you have your passion channel, that you also have that might also turn out really well and be able to drive income. You can also have another channel as well, to where that one would be designed for the sake of like, hey, this is something that I can actually produce some income from while I'm also building this one up.
Also, you said you have some stands. You said you have a full Boba Fett and Stormtrooper.
I didn't say that.
No, he did on the stand.
Oh,
where did you get the stands? Did you just use normal mannequins? I'm finding difficulty finding mannequins that have good legs to put them on the legs, because I want to do the same thing.
Tom Nash, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Nice to see you in here.
We also have some first timers. The Real Zay 2K. Welcome.
Yep.
We have Dan R. Hagen, the voice of Norway. Yeah, welcome. Joe's Life. Welcome. Lego Tours NI. Welcome.
Nice.
Yeah, got a lot of new people in here.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah,
Anthony,
hey, just as a heads up, just a reminder.
Archer, welcome. Yasix, welcome. Empire Games, you're welcome. Love it.
Yeah, and here's the question, or the place to just go ahead and put your form if you're on YouTube.
Built from 2x4s.
You will, let's see here.
The Chris Carp Catcher, welcome. Good to see you in here. Thanks for coming by.
There you go. Yeah, if you go to that link right there, I just dropped it in the chat, then you can get your questions in there if you have a question, you're looking for it and you can't find it. Yeah, Dream just said, can someone send the link? Here it is. I just dropped it in the chat for you there. So next up, we've got, looks like it's blank. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong side. Okay, so next up we've got the Real Zay 2K. They do bi-weekly content. It's a gaming channel. The goal is to have fun. And the question is, firstly, I'd like to say thank you. I've been listening to each one of the streams from Apple Podcasts, and it's been a huge learning experience. Glad that I was able to catch a stream. Hope all is well. All is doing awesome. Thank you for that. And I'm glad that you are enjoying the stuff over on Apple. Make sure you leave a 5-star review and maybe something positive over there. I'd appreciate it. But says, I'm having an issue improving thumbnails and titles to get that 8 to 10% click-through rate. I want to put in the reps to gain more experience, but I've had to shift quality over quantity in order to gain traction. It's been the approach that I've needed. Although it's keeping me from improving my titles and thumbnails, I really think they're a huge improvement, but they still are not producing. Okay, so keep in mind when it comes to like an 8 to 10% click-through rate, more context is needed there. So when you are looking at your click-through rate and you're looking at it in the averaged out view that you see inside of your creator studio, hey Stanley, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing great. When you're looking at that particular view, it's kind of misleading. And the reason it's misleading is because that view is taking into account all of the different places on YouTube that people are finding your video. So it's good to note, but it's not good to rely on as a defining factor of like, hey, this is what my click-through rate actually is. And the reason for that is because let's say you have people that are going to your channel page and they're finding the video on your channel page, and therefore, for every impression you get on your channel page, that person is, like a lot of people are clicking on it because they already, are on your channel. They're into what it is that you're doing and all that. So that can inflate, that number. So if you're in search, you will typically get higher click-through rates in search as well. So if you are getting a really good click-through rate in search, then in that particular case, it can be inflating the overall click-through rate there as well. So the place that you really want to look for this is you want to go into your traffic sources report that is inside of your YouTube Creator Studio. In order to find this, you click into your YouTube video, and then you click into analytics. Once you're in analytics, then you click on advanced mode. That's going to be up in the top right-hand side of your screen. Once you are in advanced mode, because they've changed analytics, so depending on which version that you're using right now, if you're using the old version, then you're going to see an area right along the middle of the screen, just some navigation options, and you'll see traffic sources there. Click on that, and then you'll see the pages of YouTube where you're getting traffic. For the browse, you'll have to click into that, and then you'll actually see home pages. But that's where you'll want to look at your click-through rate. If you're on the new version of analytics, then in that case, over on the left-hand side, in that panel that's over there, then you can select your traffic sources from that drop-down over in that left-hand panel. And then same exact thing is going to happen there. Little Acres Farm, welcome to the Niminati. Thanks for subscribing. But basically, the whole the whole idea I'm trying to express is when it comes to your click-through rate, don't just look at that that one averaged out view. Instead, go in and be like, okay, let me see how people are responding to this on home pages. Let me see how people are responding to this in search. Let me see how people are responding to this in suggested videos. Keep in mind, typically, when you are publishing videos and they're getting more views and more impressions, it typically will drive those numbers down. Sometimes you can maintain them, but they typically will drive those numbers down. And that's because your videos are going into more general audiences and things like that over time, especially as your impressions and view counts increase. So it can drive those numbers down. So because of that, don't necessarily chase like an 8 to 10 as the averaged out view. Instead, go in and look at the individual traffic sources and start to understand on your videos that have done well, that have had decent click-through rates on those individual traffic sources, start to pay attention to what you were doing in those particular thumbnails. But also keep in mind when it comes to your click-through rate, because you mentioned your thumbnails and your titles, also keep in mind that topics play a huge part when it comes to your click-through rate. So you might have an awesome thumbnail, you might have a great title, but the topic of the video itself might not land with the people that you're trying to reach. And because of that, it can make you think this thumbnail sucks, this title sucks, when really it was just the idea itself that wasn't that great. So, you know, there's a lot that happens there. So just make sure that you're considering, you know, all of those things. And when you look at the traffic sources report, it's also going to help you be able to identify some weak spots too. So it's normal for suggested videos to be lower in terms of click-through rate compared to like home pages and search. Typical, you know, for search to be higher because people are actively looking for that video, right? So, so it's normal for your click-through rate to be higher there. But what you want to do over time is you want to start to establish like a baseline of sorts. So you can say, okay, by the time I get this many impressions, my videos that perform well on the click-through rate side of things, they typically maintain a click-through rate of about fill in the blank, right? So you just want to start tracking those types of things on your channel, so then you can start looking for those baselines, so to speak, so that you can, you know, start to be able to identify what's good. The reason that's important is because when you are when you're publishing videos, and let's say that you find out that, okay, in suggested videos, this is way lower than my typical baseline. So what that does when you identify that is you can say, okay, well, why? One, is this a great fit for, you know, suggested? Two, is everything big enough to where the people that I'm trying to reach, to where they can easily see the thing that's going to help them, you know, identify that this is about something that they care about? Is my title where it gets truncated in suggested videos? Is it, you know, is the important parts that would matter to the viewer and help give them context to what might be in this video, is that getting cut off? Or maybe the compelling part, is that getting cut off? But it just helps you be able to identify those sorts of things. Same thing with home pages. So if you find that you're underperforming on home pages, then you can go and you can look at your thumbnails and be like, okay, so home pages are when people are loading up YouTube and they're just randomly, you know, looking for something to watch. They're not searching for anything. They haven't, you know, clicked on any videos yet, or they've came back to the home page, or they're sitting there scrolling on their phone, or they're, you know, on a TV and they're just kind of, you know, looking around at stuff. YouTube is recommending that content to them randomly. So if you find that you're underperforming there, then what you got to do is you got to think to yourself, okay, if somebody that I'm trying to reach were to just load up their YouTube homepage right now and they were to see my thumbnail and title, how would this help them instantly identify that this content's about something that they care about? And how would the thumbnail or the title itself compel them to click, right? And then also think about things like when it comes to home pages and suggested videos, the more wide your video is in terms of the amount of people that could possibly be interested in that video, that are interested in your type of content, the wider that is, or the higher that number is, or the larger the amount of people are, the higher the likelihood that your videos are going to perform well in the recommendation system, right? Because then you have more people that are, you know, that are likely to enjoy that when it gets recommended to them. Dream, it's not available yet. So basically, when I get the approval from Apple, because it's been submitted, and I've actually been denied a handful of times, they have like all these little weird details to where, and I get it because, you know, they're trying to make a good experience for their users, but little details, like for example, like for pricing, I had like one number bolded wrong. So since it wasn't focused on like, you know, that yearly number, they're like, yeah, you know, we need you to change that. I have an issue to where they couldn't find the payment stuff. I've had like just all these like little weird, you know, types of things in there. On the previous one that I did, I had all kinds of things. I had like, you know, text going off screen and stuff like that because I didn't know to test it on a small device. But now I've got the small devices and all that stuff, so I just test them, you know, also to make sure I can clear on those parts. But yeah, just kind of working through it. Let's see here. So next up, we've got, okay, we did the gaming channel. You know what? I can actually, let me show you guys this. I'm going to log into really quick. I'm going to log just because it's important that you guys see this. So I'm not going to do it on my main channel, but I'm going to log into an old channel that I have and just kind of show you guys where, because I always talk about traffic sources and stuff, but I want you to see where this is at, because this really makes a, you know, this can really make a big difference on how you approach your thumbnails and how you can, you know, look at your, you know, traffic sources on YouTube. So let's see here. So this is a channel that I had, you know, a really long time ago. This is the channel that kind of lit my spark when it came to YouTube. It's called All Our Questions. Still gets, you know, 2,400 views a month on this channel. But basically in here, and it's not monetized anymore. You know, of course, I haven't uploaded to it in, you know, like 8 years or whatever. But basically, when it comes to the thing that I'm talking about, what you do is you go into the content. And then once you're in the content, we'll say this particular one, I'm going to click into analytics. And once I'm inside of analytics, this area right up here in the top of the screen, you're going to see advanced mode. Okay. So once you are in, yeah, I know, -5 subscribers, right, on that channel, because I'm not uploading anymore. Goodness. But basically here, you see advanced mode right up here at the top. Okay. So if we click on advanced mode, and really quick, I just want to just brag. Even on that channel, this video had like 172,000 views, you know, wow. So that's good. But anyway, once we go into advanced here, then this is the old version of analytics. So they are, you know, testing a different version of this. So you might see a different version. I have the different version on my main channel, but not on this one. But basically, once you are here, then what you can do is you can go into your traffic sources report, which is right here. Okay, so that's the traffic sources report. Then once you click on traffic sources, and I'm having this to lifetime because this video has, you know, some data on it. So I just want you to be able to see everything, you know, clearly. So right here, one of the things that you can see is we see YouTube search. We see suggested videos. Here, let me actually get the doodler out again. Nope, I don't need the doodler. I need the zoomer. Okay, and we need to adjust it. I need to learn, there's shortcut keys for all this. I need to learn those shortcut keys. There we go. Okay, so right over here on the left, you're going to see that we have YouTube search, we have suggested videos, we have external, browse features, other YouTube features, channel pages, all of this stuff. So what I was talking about before, you know, I can actually do this even easier. Let me just hit my zoom. There we go. That's what, there it is. Okay. So one of the things that we can see here is, like in this particular case, when it comes to YouTube search, I had 66,000 views coming from YouTube search, 476,000 impressions. Right here, I have a 6.3% click-through rate here. So if I was making a video, and I'm going to explain why this is important. So if I was making a video and I was targeting YouTube search with my video, right? Because D does a lot of that. When he's, you know, publishing videos, he's targeting YouTube search. So if you were targeting YouTube search with your video, of course, you'd want it to do well in the recommendation system also. So you would try to double dip, which is another, you know, concept that I talk about in videos. But here, if I'm trying to get activity in YouTube search and I find that this is low compared to videos that typically do well in YouTube search, then in that particular case, I might want to update this thumbnail to make sure that I'm doing okay in YouTube search because I've been able to identify that it's low, right? Suggested videos here, you can see on suggested that this one actually got a 5% click-through rate on suggested and a 4.8 in browse features. So with both of these, it also gives you like additional context. And then if we click into browse features, then we can see here as it loads. I wonder why it's taking so long to load.
While it's loading, I have to tell you what happened. So I put on my armor.
Yeah.
And it's been sitting up there. I haven't put that on probably in a year. Since last May the 4th.
Weird. What if I zoom out?
And it was covered in dust, and I didn't clear it off. And like I had to take it off. Like all my skin, everything was just itching. Where I had put, I guess it's dust mites that are on my neck. I'm sitting there like washing off my arms and like shaking my shirt out.
But right here, you can see, like now that loaded, you can see right here that on home pages specifically, that this one was a 4.8, which is pretty cool. But you can see, and that's with, let's see here, 141,000 impressions. So this could, do better for this channel. But you can see down here, subscriptions also. So this one's interesting because the subscriptions, what you can interpret from this is for the people that are using the subscription feed, which are my subscribers that are finding my content there, how are they actually responding to it? And this lets you know for the people that are, that are using the subscription feed, this lets you know like how much of an interest is your content to the people that are already subscribed to your channel too, which is, a really good thing to know. When it comes like watch later and, that kind of stuff, not as big of a deal, but, the subscriptions, you can take information from that. Home, you can take information from that. And then when we go back to the main traffic sources, then you can take that information from there too. Now, other things that I want to show you here, since we're here, we're going to turn this into some educational stuff.
There we go.
So another thing that you can see here is when I click on this bar graph, right? I can see YouTube search, how we had this climb, and then we got a spike, and then it starts trailing off, and then, now it's pretty much died in YouTube search. When I click on this box, then we have suggested videos here, and then we can see, this particular, graph. So one of the things that you always hear me talking about when it comes to people coming into the stream and they're like, hey, my channel just like views just died up, on my channel, and I'm not really sure what happened. One of the things you always hear me tell people is like, come into this, go into your traffic sources report and use the line graph so that you can see where your traffic fell off. So what you can do is you can say, okay, well, let's say that I took it to the last 365 days, and let's say that my traffic just suddenly died. Then what I would do is I would say, okay, let's look at external, and I would click on that, and I would look for, okay, did I have any, like, we'll just do this for a lifetime here just to make this easy. I can't because it goes too far. So let's do 365 days. But anyway, this line chart, you would click on that, and then you would say, or sorry, that's external, no wonder. So we're on YouTube search here now. So you would click on that, and then you would say, okay, if, I had traffic here, and then it fell off, then that tells me that, that is probably what impacted it. Same thing for suggested, same thing for browse features. But you can use this line to look for those places that might look something like this. And then, it ended up just like, dying or just taking a substantial hit, to where the views are much less than they were before. And then that helps you at least identify kind of what happened or where the problem happened. So another thing, just while we're in here, is when you are looking at this external traffic source. So one of the things that we talk about a lot here, you hear people say a lot, is we talk about people sharing content on other platforms. And one of the things I always say there is if you want to see if that particular platform is of value to you or not in terms of how people are responding to it, go into your traffic sources report, go into external, and then see how much time people are spending on your videos. Here's how you do that. So basically, you go into your traffic sources reports again through the same exact thing. Then you have external right here. So if you look at that, in this case, it's right up here at the top, but your view is going to be different based on the activity and how you have your things sorted here. But if I click into external, then here we can see, and I will just do this as since uploaded again. But yeah, so inside of here, what you're going to be able to see is you're going to be able to see how long people are watching your videos once they do come from those particular traffic sources. So I don't know why this is probably just because the channel's inactive is probably why.
There it goes.
Okay. So here we've got, Google search, which is fine. We've got Reddit. So here, let's say that I was sharing my videos over to Reddit. right? Then in this particular case, you can see here that I've gotten 4,167 views from Reddit. Out of those 4,600 views, I've had an average view duration of 2 minutes and 15 seconds, right? So what I can do is, let's see here, is I can also come into here and do average percentage viewed. So then I can also get a more, clear indicator of how much of the video that they watch, so I don't have to go back and see how long the video is and all of that. So let that load. And Lego Tours really quick says, have you heard of vidIQ? They do channel reviews and thumbnail reviews. You should do something like that. Yeah, so definitely heard of vidIQ. It's a cool YouTube tool. And we used to do channel reviews. So this stream that you're watching right now, we used to have the Q&A for the first part of the stream, and then for the second part of the stream, we would do channel reviews for like 3 hours. But we ended up staying here until like 2 in the morning and stuff like that.
3 hours of channel reviews.
Yeah, so it got kind of got kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here if we just put it on like Reddit again, or we use Facebook. So here, this one had 856 views from Facebook. So what I can do is I can say, okay, they watched my video for 54% of the time, which is, average view duration of 3 minutes and 24 seconds in this particular case. So because of that, yeah, they're watching, about half of the video. So because of that, that would have been an effective share for me. So when it comes to Reddit, they're watching 35%, which is kind of on the borderline there. So this will just help you be able to identify those places that you're sharing and how long people are watching from those places, so you can determine if the places that you're sharing your content are effective or not in terms of how long people are watching the videos. So hopefully you found that helpful. Feel free to take notes. Oops. You got to put me back up on stage there, Dean.
Hold on. Move this down, remove. Gotcha.
There we go. Yeah, so make sure you take notes on that. Feel free to rewatch it. But the idea, that I'm trying to express here is, when we do talk about all those things, those are exactly how you find them. And for obvious reasons, as you can see while we're having this conversation right now, it takes a while to show you all that, which is why I don't, go through that, every single time I make those recommendations. But, you can see how informative it could be, when you go in there. So hopefully you found that valuable. Give this a thumbs up, maybe some hearts if you learned anything right there.
Thumbs up and
Roberto
hearts.
Blake, what's up, dude? Hope that you were doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. Roberto Blake, by the way, is the author of Create Something Awesome. This will help you learn how to monetize your content and build your audience on YouTube. You can find this on Amazon. Just go look for Create Something Awesome, or I think you might be able to just put Roberto's name in there as well, and you can find that. I've also got links down in the description as well, where you can also get it. Roberto, hope you're doing awesome.
Yep. He was doing channel reviews earlier.
Oh, today?
Yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so Roberto's doing channel reviews over there as well. Yeah. We used to do them on the TubeSpanner channel. TubeSpanner is, they're pushing out the rest of their tool, I believe, this coming weekend. So because of that, we'll probably start doing some channel reviews over there too. So make sure you are subscribed to the TubeSpanner YouTube channel. You can just scroll up the chat. TubeSpanner is in here earlier. You can just scroll up the chat and then find that, or just type in TUBESPANNER into YouTube search and it'll pop up. So next up, we've got Swish, Willie, and Disney. They upload every other day. Been on YouTube for 1 year or more. And they do Disney parks and live streamer content. The goal of the channel is to have fun. And the question is, any advice on how to draw some more traction to my Disney park live streams? Plan them in advance, schedule them in advance. Make sure that you are, for the people that are in there, if they're sticking around for some time, then, YouTube's going to try to show them to more people because they'll deem that as, a satisfactory experience if people are hanging out. So because of that, just make sure that you are being an engaging, presenter when it comes to what it is that you're doing in the stream. Experiment with things like, experiment with, being on camera, not being on camera, and just on point of view while you're talking, those sorts of things. But, just show people interesting things. But I see that you already are doing some scheduling. So it looks like you have one set for tomorrow. So I'm not sure how long this has been scheduled for, but just make sure that you're scheduling them for, a period of time. But you could also, because your replays and everything, you're getting like 2,000, 1,000 views. So after your live stream is complete, go in and re-optimize your live stream, because what you're doing here can also be content that people can watch when you're not live. So go in and have another thumbnail where you don't have the live thing on it. Go in and on all of your titles from all of the live streams that you've done, I would take that whole live thing completely off, take the dates out of there, so that when people see it, they see Magical Kingdom Walt Disney World at night.
Yeah.
That's what they see, or walk through, or whatever it is that you do in that stream, because now you know what you've done. So to get the most out of this live stream, instead of focusing on what you're doing while you're live, I would actually focus on what you're doing after the live stream is complete to make this content better for the replay experience. If you do that, then you're going to start getting, more people coming in. And I'm going to share this really quick just so you can see exactly what it is that I mean. Let's see here.
It's in.
Yeah, so like right here, if you look at, and this is how you spell tube spanner, right? By the way, right up here at the top. But if you look here, thumbnails. This here and this right here tells me that this content probably isn't going to be that great for me to watch, from the outside, or that I kind of missed the show. Mm-hmm. But if you remove those two things, and you remove this date, which basically, if I watch this, if this shows up in my feed 6 months from now, I'm not going to click on this because it's old and I don't care. And YouTube does show this information about how long ago it was streamed and stuff like that, but you're putting a big spotlight on it right here. So I would remove the dates from here. I'd remove the hashtags from your title because that's not needed. I would remove the live from there, and I would remove the live here as well. Also, even while you're streaming, I would experiment with leaving or losing this live thing, and losing the date. Because they're there, like YouTube's going to show them that it's live. YouTube's going to do that work for you. And then if you don't put that in the thumbnail, you don't put it here, then that's going to remove all of that extra work that you're going to have to do for the replay after the fact. So I would make those adjustments as soon as you possibly can.
Got a super chat.
Science-Based Fitness, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bet you can't remember his name.
The star-bellied Sneech?
Yeah. What's his name?
Or the guy?
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Sylvester McMonkey McBean.
God, that's amazing. I don't know how you do that. Ooh.
Pretty sure it's
I can barely remember my own name, let alone those guys.
I looked it up. Sylvester McMonkey McBean. Yeah.
So, next up on the list, we've got... I keep opening the wrong one there.
That has to be it. Sylvester McMonkey McBean. Yes,
you got it. Nice work, D.
Yes.
Yep. Nice work.
Yep. I'm finished here. That's it.
Lego Tours NI. They do daily.
Give it to me. That was good.
That was good.
Give it to me. Yes.
They do daily content, but on YouTube for less than a year. They do Lego related content. The goal of the channel is to make money. The question is, what's the first thing you'd improve if you look at my channel with fresh eyes? We'll just call it a different perspective.
Let's do that.
So let me just see what it is.
Fresh eyes.
Real quick.
First impression.
I don't know. You have a nice strong emphasis. You got the Lego logo in there. You've got Legoland, on here, that kind of stuff. Legoland Begins, Lego Theme Park Speed Build. Let's see here. I would definitely get some Lego stuff in your channel art, but that's not really going to move the needle for you, but it just will add context to people that want to explore more. On some of the videos that you have here, like here, I'll pull this up real quick too.
Okay.
So just really quick on things like this where you have like 5 feet long, and this is where the fresh eyes comes in, which is where this type of thing, is helpful. So right here on this particular video, you have 5 feet long, and it looks like a cruise ship. So at a glance, if somebody's sitting there on their mobile device and they're scrolling through.
Is that not a cruise ship?
No, it's a Lego.
See, got me too.
Right.
Yeah.
So because of that, I would take this Lego logo and I would make sure that you have that in everything. So one of the things, if you look at my channel, I've got YouTube logos on most of my thumbnails, unless I use the word YouTube or something like that to help people identify, hey, this is something about YouTube. So I recommend that you do something similar in terms of making sure that you do use that logo. Since you're already using it in other videos anyway, I would just put that logo somewhere prominent in your thumbnail so that people know that it is that it has to do with Lego. But I would start there. In addition to that, I would also kind of simplify your titles, because here you have building a 5 foot long Lego cruise ship, emojis, and then part 1, the base begins. So this is another issue, because this is from a readability standpoint, which Tube Spanner, as part of their extension update, she actually has put that sort of thing into it to where you can actually gauge the readability of your titles and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to this, there's just a lot going on there. So the part 1 tells me that, that this may not be complete, which means that, I might have to watch another video, which I may or may not do. So because of that, I might not click on this just because it's, broken up that way. So just be careful when you're doing that sort of thing as well with your titles. And, building a 5 foot long Lego cruise ship, that's fine. But you could make it more compelling by saying something along the lines of, I built this in under X amount of time, or, something like that, to where it just makes it a little bit more, intriguing that way. But this is okay. It's informative, right? But you could definitely kind of workshop that title a little bit and see if you could, do something to make it a little bit more compelling. But I would get that logo nice and prominent everywhere. Even here, starting a Lego City, Lego logo. Here, Lego logo. I would definitely put that, everywhere you possibly can. You also have some videos here that have done well in terms of, compared to the other videos. I would dig into those and start looking, okay, how did I start the video? What were the first things? What were the first things that I said when the video first started? What was I showing? All of those types of things to where you can start to find a repeatable pattern that you can make from a structural standpoint with your videos.
Doug is saying
Doug, I see it.
You see it?
Yep, I got it over in the mod chat too.
3 super chats?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Doug.
So
we don't give enough community appreciation to Doug.
I know. Yep, Doug's the man. Thank you, Doug.
You're appreciated, Doug, more than you know.
Yep.
You too, Chantel. Mm-hmm. Great mods
Yep.
hold everything together.
Yep. The glue.
The glue that holds a good stream together. You got it.
So Tana going in the kitchen. Thank you for your membership for 9 months. Says it's been 1 year that you talked about Star Wars in the stream, and I still haven't watched the movies.
Okay, mods, can you
is
get rid of?
Is there a
hide
user from channel
can we
option
get,
here?
Can mods? Can we get throw her into the trash compactor?
Yeah, so the trash compactor is a reference that you'll get after you watch Star Wars. Yeah. So once you watch Star Wars, then you'll get that reference. But you got to watch the whole series, because that one's not until what, Return of the Jedi, or is that in the original Star Wars? Yeah, I can't remember. It's all a blur. So next, I'm about to get assaulted, I think. So that's like blasphemy, doing that the day before May the 4th.
Episode, right? First one.
Okay.
A New Hope.
Yep. So, when they went to rescue Leia.
Come on, man.
Got it. I'm in YouTube mode. I'm not in movie mode. Yeah. So, trying to learn it. Says...
the day before May the 4th. He says this.
Thanks for Super Chat.
Blasphemy.
Thanks for Super Chat, man. Says, thanks for this content and responses on the Facebook page. And Magic Prepper, thanks for Super Chat, says, does your channel or videos get penalized if you don't report and remove spam comments? Technically, no, but your viewers might get annoyed, and it might cause them to not leave comments. So the reason for that is, like, let's say that you are publishing videos and I leave a comment on your channel, and every time I go and leave a comment on your channel, I get some spam reply. Then in that particular case, I'm just going to stop leaving comments on your channel. So trying to limit that by using your blocked words list and things like that can help you just kind of keep a little bit of control on that, so you can try to keep the community cleaned. And Science-Based Fitness, I think we already called that one out, but thank you for the Super Chat as well. Appreciate it. Low Crafty Nook, what's going on?
She knows about Star Wars. She said the original.
Yep.
She brought me an awesome comic. An awesome comic book.
Nice.
To Dead Summit. Yeah. I have it right over there.
So next up here, we've got Not Started Yet. And they're getting ready to start their channel.
Okay.
The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I want to start a Faceless Explainer channel. I'm an animator from a TV news background, so I'm super fast, turning around 2D, 3D explainers, editing, and audio. Could you share a stream of consciousness of ideas that would suit these skills, please? My favorite channel styles are Cleo Abrams, Johnny Harris, and Fern. Thanks. So in terms of a stream of consciousness on ideas that would suit these skills, I would try to think about things that you could make that would be of interest to a large amount of people, like things that could possibly be trending. So this might not be the path that you want to walk, but, making those types of things, like political cartoons, stuff like that around politics is a thing. Making it about, like, content creators, because those types of things are possible. Basically anything that is trending, just making content about that. But the key to that, though, is thinking about, okay, if I'm going to make content about things that are trending, I need to make sure that I'm making content about things that are trending for a particular type of viewer, not just anything. So, like, let's say, for example, if there's like a movie thing that's coming out and it's trending, but you're making like political stuff, then in that case, you don't necessarily want to make that just because it's trending, because the political, folks might not care about that if there isn't an alignment there with that particular type of viewer, right? So, yeah, just trying to find things that are trending will be your fastest path to getting attention. Another thing also that is pretty popular in that particular genre is also, just talking about regular things that people go through, right? Kind of taking the Seinfeld approach to where you're just talking about regular things that everybody can kind of relate to and that kind of stuff, so that when they come in and they watch it, they get some humor out of just kind of day-to-day life, essentially. So then trying to do that, and then, hopefully some people can relate to that as well.
This is what Nikki got.
Nice.
It's a Mad Max.
Nice, that's cool.
Special edition. Yeah.
That's
it's
super
really
cool.
Yeah, I should have brought it out. I should have grabbed that for the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, right here. I wish I had something to set it up on that didn't block. I'm going to put it right there.
Science-Based Fitness, thanks for the super chat. It says, question for D, which is better, Darth Vader or Thanos?
As what?
Just better.
Better what?
Better villain.
Better villain. Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. I think the story of Darth Vader is a tragedy. Turned bad. I think it's a tragedy. But Thanos is like killing half the universe. Yeah. So in terms of just pure,
what a move. Like, what kind of person are you?
And it broke him,
right?
too. You could tell he didn't want to carry the burden, but he felt like he had to. So I would say in terms of villainy, I would have to go with Thanos. But in terms of, like, if I had to pick one for, like, I'm watching that guy, it would be Vader.
And nothing but fight scenes?
Yeah. I think Vader at the end of Rogue One was just peak Vader.
Yeah.
I want to see an entire series of that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
All right, so next up, we've got the Blueprint. The Blueprint uploads one time per week or more. They do AI hip-hop motivational videos.
Love it.
And the question is, what can I do to get people to watch my videos longer? Well, the problem, if you're making AI videos and you are you're letting AI do everything, then in that particular case, you're not going to have much control. If you are editing, if you're putting it all together personally and you are editing things, 100% together yourself, then in that particular case, you can do that sort of thing, which it looks like you might be doing. What I would definitely do is, of course, if you're, hold on, Broken Wings, inspired by the spirit of Tupac, Everything's Gonna Be All Right, motivational hip-hop track inspired by Tupac. Yeah, so the songs that you're playing are going to be a huge factor. So I can tell you this just because I listen to tons of music on YouTube. And I think what you're doing is pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to subscribe, so hopefully they'll recommend this to me. But basically, one of the things that make or break things for me is I will see like a cool looking thumbnail. It'll be clear that it's music. I'll click on it. And if the music doesn't just hit me, in terms of like, oh yeah, that sounds good, then I'm out of there. I don't have time to sit there and, just give it time. I'm clicking on it, and if I don't feel the vibe right away, then I'm out of there. So I would, if you have people leaving your videos early, because I think the visuals that you're doing are really cool. At least what I'm seeing on the thumbnail hover right here. So as long as it's consistently like that throughout the video, then in that case, I would work on the music itself. But keep in mind, when it comes to music, like, it's common for people to just kind of go in and bounce like that, because there's just so many people that listen to so much different stuff. So it's just kind of hard to nail those people to, catch that vibe. So, just keep at it, and hopefully with what it is that you're doing, because it's unique and cool, hopefully you'll end up, getting a nice fan base on this.
Streaming
really
did that
cool.
to music.
Did what?
Lowered people's ability to sit through like a lengthy intro.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like older music, you would build into the song.
intro was part of the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a whole experience.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, let's put this thing on. I'm gonna like sit down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna dedicate time to listen to this.
But now it's stream. Yeah, and you would pay for it, right? Like, you'd buy the album, you'd buy the CD, you'd buy whatever it was, the 8-track. You're invested into that. Yeah. But with streaming, it's just click, 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 click. So you have seconds. Yeah. You have seconds to just like YouTube, right? So somebody clicks a video, you have seconds to get someone's attention, and then you have to hold their attention. Yeah. Same thing with the streaming platforms with music. Yeah. Right. You have seconds to get their attention right away, and then you got to hold their attention. What a weird.
Yep.
Right.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing too on the music channel, I would also, just to bring more attention to your to your main long form content, if you're not doing this already, is I would also be putting up shorts. And the reason I put up shorts with what it is that you're doing is because, you know, that's a great way to just get what it is that you're doing in front of people. I didn't look, you might be doing that already, but if you're not, then I would definitely add shorts to what it is that you're doing, because visually what you're doing is really cool. I couldn't hear the audio because I don't have it on, but visually what you're doing is really cool. So I think that, you know, if that pops up in a shorts feed, that people will give it a little bit of time, just for, you know, just for what it looks like by itself. But the problem that you might be having on the other side is that, you know, people that are clicking on it don't know anything about it, and then they're coming in and clicking on it there. So possibly if you know, start doing well in YouTube Shorts, and people will get familiar with that style, and people are going to copy YouTube, by the way, because what you're doing is really cool. But people are going to get familiar with that style, and then they'll click into the actual video because they'll want to, you know, see more of what it is that you're doing. The Icon 9909 is the next channel here. They do anime reactions. The goal is to quit their job and to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, what can I do to increase my views and audience? I feel like a lot of the advice given for small channels don't really fit with my anime reaction channel. Please give me some advice on how I can grow and get better. Okay, so when it comes to this, it doesn't matter what type of channel you have, best practices apply. So when it comes to the best practices, what that means is you still have to make it clear what it is that, you know, people are going to get from the outside, or compel them to click in some way. And you do that by making your content easily available for, you know, people to, or easily identifiable, so that when people see it in their home feed or suggested videos or whatever, that they're like, oh yeah, this looks like something I might be interested in, right? So you got to make sure that that you have that. Then from there, you got to make sure that your title's compelling and that you're actually making videos about something that, you know, people find interesting, and that you're able to package it that way from the outside. So before you put the content together, since you're doing anime reactions, I would start thinking of making your thumbnails and titles first before you do the reaction, and start to think like, okay, how could I, you know, put this video together in a way that it would actually represent the thumbnail and the title in the best possible way. And I would start taking that particular approach. And then from there, when it comes to, you know, the actual reactions that you're doing reaction content. I mean, that content is, you know, like, the tips that everybody gives, they apply directly to what it is that you're doing. If you're doing like anime, like, you know, actual like animations and stuff, it can be a little bit different outside of best practices. But with what it is that you're doing, the same exact rules apply to you that apply to me. So and most of the, you know, content on YouTube, because you're there reacting to the content, so you're needing to grab people's attention and then keep them, you know, entertained or informed throughout, you know, the whole thing. So so just don't think that you're outside of that, right? Because it does apply to you, right? Yeah. But you can go into your audience retention reports on your channel, and you can see exactly how people are responding to your reactions. So the reason for that is if you go in and you see like, hey, when I'm doing these types of things in my reactions, people are leaving the video. That tells you that at scale, people aren't really interested in those particular things. Or you'll see like, hey, when my video first starts, like people are just heading out of here. Well, in that case, you need to work on your intro. So you need to be able to identify the problems before you can work on them. So because of that, make sure that you do go into your analytics on your channel, and that you look or into each individual video, and you look to see how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, and you adjust around that. Like for everybody, for every type of content, like your audience retention reports are the path to helping, you know, your videos do better, because your audience retention reports have clues all over them about the things that people enjoy and don't enjoy about your content.
Yeah, it's crazy. We all have to live under the same set of rules in terms of the best practices.
It's all viewer satisfaction.
It's all viewer satisfaction.
Grab their attention, get them in, give them a great experience.
Yep. If you can get somebody watching and keep them watching, YouTube will reward you. The better you can do it, the more YouTube will reward you. Yeah. The more people you can satisfy, the better the viewer experience, the more YouTube will reward you. Right. Yeah. But really simple. Like, and that's the end of the live stream. Yep. Like, that's it. How do I grow my channel? There you go. That's it. Yep. Make videos people react to. Right. The end. Yep.
That they respond positively.
Positive. Yeah. But that's really hard to do. Like,
it is. Simple, it is. There's tons of nuance in that.
As simple as that is.
That's what your audience retention reports are for.
Make videos that people respond positively to.
And make them about topics that people care about.
And make it about topics that people care about. That's YouTube in a nutshell.
Yep.
Like
reaction content, like if I was on reaction content, I wouldn't just react to the things I wanted to react to. I would find out like all of the things that are within that genre that people are talking about like right now.
Right.
I would have like a mention account. Mention.com. I would have an account there, and I would have it scraping Reddit for like, okay, what are people talking about? I had to put in all the keywords or trigger words in there, and then I would be getting notifications for what it is that people are talking about there, and then I would just start making reactions on all the stuff that people are talking about at scale.
Yeah.
Like, easy.
Yeah, and as simple as that sounds, as Scale Train Station said, simple does not equal easy. It's a simple thing, right? Just make videos in topics that people are interested in and people want to watch. But it's really hard to do that. And the amazing thing is some people are just naturally good at it. Sometimes you see some new channel pop up.
Or seemingly natural good at it.
Seemingly natural, right? There could be an entire team behind somebody pretending to be
or just other life
amateur.
experience.
Right.
Prepared them for it.
But sometimes you do see those channels pop up and there's just like just incredible. Just explodes right out of the gate. Sometimes just naturally good. Some people are naturally comfortable in front of the camera. Some people just are really comfortable speaking
What I think is interesting is in situations like that. So I was actually, so I was on a podcast last night, and after the podcast, we were sitting there talking, and he was asking about anybody else that I think would be like a good fit for a show, and I told him Mike Russell, and he was like, the audio guy, and I was like, yeah, the audio guy, Mike Russell. And this conversation made me think about this.
Just when somebody says Mike Russell and their response is the audio guy,
right.
You've owned your niche.
Right. But now he's the AI guy.
He's yeah.
Right? So basically, if somebody runs across his YouTube channel and they were to see that in like just a little bit more than a year, he got over 100,000 subscribers, they would see him as one of those people.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, yeah, this guy just had it right, swinging out of the gate. But in reality, he's been on YouTube for like 15 years or something like that and been making content for a long time.
Right.
And he was able to apply that to the channel that he was doing. Yeah. But seemingly, if you just ran across him through that channel, be like, oh yeah, this guy's a natural. He knows how to do all this stuff. Like his first video is a banger, right? But in reality, he comes from a ton of experience and making like tons and tons of videos.
The overnight success on that channel with 15 years experience.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yep.
You got a super chat from Tango in the kitchen.
Say, Tango in the kitchen, thanks for super chat. Says, my current TikTok's too political, life in the USA. So I'm considering a second account to repost videos from this channel using my YouTube name. Yeah, that's cool. If you are going to do a second TikTok account under this name, that's good because it just secures you over there. So I would definitely, even if you're not using it right now, I would definitely get the name over there. So I have one TikTok account over there that's got, I think, like 1,100, 1,200, followers on it. But I had to abandon that account because that particular account, it doesn't qualify for the creator program over there. So I had to make a new account. So with that one, I've got like 88 people on there so far. Some of them actually came from here in the last live stream. But yeah, it's fun.
Nick and I joke sometimes about how we wish we were into politics.
Oh my gosh, I would just crush political content if I was into that. Yeah.
So
easy in terms of
people are exploding with political content, and I wish I was into politics. So I could go down that road because it's just easy. They're just essentially just giving opinions on stuff and just like
it's free money.
It's free money.
Yeah, it's free money. Like
it's free money.
Like so easy to get attention with that content.
Yeah, but I don't care about politics.
Yep.
So,
So there's that.
Don't make me do it.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. So a Girl on Her Passport is the next channel. What's going on, Tiffany? Hope you're doing great.
Hey.
Has been on YouTube for a year or more. She does travel content. The goal is to make money. Says, my video this week shot up to #1 after starting at a 10 after about 2 days. I've been looking in the analytics to find out why, but not having much luck. The CTR isn't great either, so it isn't that. Any ideas? Could be the topic is a hit. Go and look at your audience retention, see how you compare to other videos. You can find that in your audience retention report. Just because you might, be overperforming videos of a similar length, the topic itself could just be of a higher interest as well. But also keep in mind when it comes to that 1 in 10, it can be misleading as you just experienced. It went from a 10 to a 1 in just a couple of days. So, I wouldn't necessarily focus it on the how many out of 10 it is. I would look at it from the lens of, is this video on track to do well over time, compared to my other videos, which it probably is. If you've already shot up to #1, at least the people that are, engaged in what it is that you are doing, at least they responded well to it. So hopefully they'll keep responding well to it. But yeah, it could be the topic itself. You have here losing it in Denmark, where some of the other videos here that I'm looking at, all of these seem kind of, positive in nature, where losing it in Denmark makes me feel kind of, like maybe something bad happened in this video. So people could be responding to it that way, just as like a little nuance that, that might have something to do with it. I'm not sure. Oh, and it's not your typical Greek content. Interesting. So yeah, you could have just opened yourself up there to, something that's a little bit, that people are interested in a little bit more, possibly.
Roberto says, Nick D, let's all sell out and make a political channel and make $5 million a year.
Right.
Yeah. Listen, some of those channels,
so easy.
Yeah. Some of those people, the political creators are just, they're swimming in it. They're absolutely swimming in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I wanted to add a bunch of like darkness and hate to the world, then I would totally go all in on that. Yeah.
Crazy.
So next up, we've got
Dream is from India. Hey, hope you're doing well in India.
Next up, we've got Film School Dad. Film School Dad does bi-weekly content, but on YouTube for less than a year. The type of channel is movies and TV reviews and commentary. Hey, really quick, Tiffany, also just look at the traffic sources, see where you're getting views from compared to the other videos as well. Like you might have attached to another video and suggested videos that might be sending you a lot of traffic right now. So I would also go and look at that as well. Sorry, that came up a little bit later. It was dormant back there. But yeah, I would look at that too to see if if you have one dominant traffic source that's bringing in a lot of traffic that doesn't normally apply to the other videos at this particular part in the life cycle of the video. But they do movie and TV reviews and commentary. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what I like. And the question is, my channel's had high highs and low lows. For example, I've had a video with under 70,000 views and another with 200 views. I just recently took off a month to really think about what direction to take, and I struck gold. 2 videos in the past week, both at about 10,000 views with 130 plus subs and tons of likes. I want to retain these new subs and viewers, so my question is this. I made a movie review about Thunderbolts. It was posted at the right time, and I know that was a big part of why it hit. Should my next video be about more Marvel content or another movie review? How niche should I be? Thanks in advance for your advice. You both are the most valuable thing on YouTube. Thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I would definitely start walking down that path of doing some additional Marvel things to at least take advantage of, the influx of Marvel fans that you've had to your channel. So when it comes to things like this, you can do another movie review, and it could be like an action type movie because, if somebody's like a Marvel fan, then there's a really good chance that, when Mission Impossible comes out, they're probably going to go see that too because they're just into action type movies. But if you are going to do another movie review, I'd try to make it something, action related, maybe sci-fi, something like that. Or you can do other, additional Marvel related things. But with the timing of that particular one, because that did just come out, people are looking to see if they should go watch it, that kind of stuff, and just looking to, just get opinions about it. So the timing on that probably did play a big part of it. So I would also, just try to look for other movies that are coming out and make sure that you recognize the timing that you had with this one and then try to replicate it with some other ones, that are on the way. Unfortunately, when it comes to Marvel, I know D said that they have 2 new Marvel movies coming out.
Yeah, 2 new ones coming out.
But I'm not sure, when it is that they're coming out and if you'd be able to hop on it, as quick in terms of for your next video. But you did have an influx of Marvel fans coming in there, so I would experiment with, the next video being something Marvel related. That's a really good idea, too. Eric Waite Whiskey Study says if you were to talk about past Marvel movies, you could do like a top 10 list, top 5 list, top 3, whatever. When it comes to those 2, that's, just something Marvel related would definitely be something I would consider. Just because you just had that influx of those people. So because of that, when you publish that video, there's a really good chance that for the people that enjoyed that video, that YouTube will recommend that other one because topically it's in alignment and, they've recently reacted well to content on your channel. Film School Dad, getting back on this one, says the goal is to connect with others who like what I like. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, yeah, we just did that one. Okay, yep. Okay, clear. So next up, we got Yogi Marquise. They do daily content. The type of channel is health, wealth, yoga, and wellness. Health, wellness, yoga, and mindfulness. Question is, right now, I've created a production schedule of either live yoga and meditation, which I cut into clips for shorts. Should I create different channels for the various types of content that I produce, or should I keep everything streamlined on one central channel until I discover production harmony with audience desire? So what it is that you are doing, the health, wellness, yoga, and mindfulness, that's all under wellness, you know, technically. So because of that, I think you're fine with doing that. You might even want to, you know, just kind of wrap the health into like wellness maybe. But, you know, all of those things I think are correctly pointed towards, you know, the right type of viewer, as long as the health stuff is also, you know, kind of, you know, related to the yoga and mindfulness, you know, type of stuff. In that particular case, then I would definitely, I would say that it's safe to keep all that stuff on the same channel. What you're doing in terms of, you know, repurposing the content, I think that's a really smart move. Hopefully you're using Opus Clip for that. Opus Clip here at the front of the screen here, D, if you want to hit that real quick.
Right now, there you go.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Opus Clip, they have that same feature, but it's literally the best one that's out there. So like a lot of the tools that are out there, the clipping tools, they use transcripts, and they just use the transcripts to identify parts in your video. With them, they have the most trained AI on being able to visually identify things in the content, being able to audibly identify things in the content, and they're applying the transcript as well. So the results that you get out of Opus Clip is better. So hopefully you're using Opus Clip for that. If not, you should go over there because you can do some clipping for free before you actually pay for it. So if you're not, definitely go try them out.
Would you say also that if they tried it before and it wasn't nailing it, to go back and try it
Absolutely.
again?
Yeah. They've grown by leaps and bounds. When they first came out, they were also doing the transcript thing. But then now, you know, they've applied all of the other things to it, and they've got tons of money and funding, and they're dumping all that into just fine tuning their AI and making the entire system better. So yeah, definitely give them a shot if you haven't tried them in a while.
I think that applies to any of the AI services.
Yeah.
Like I know I tried a bunch early on. I was like, yeah, I'll revisit this at a later time. Like all of them are getting better at a ridiculous speed.
Yeah, even coding. Yeah. Like, you know, like Claude, for example, like, you know, much less errors now, you know, things like that. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, we've got Dream. What's going on, Dream? Uploads when they have time. They do motivational content. The question is, can you give me some tips to grow my new YouTube channel and tell me what things that I should avoid doing? So the very first thing if you're doing motivational content is make sure that it's clear that it's motivational content from the outside. I would look at all the other motivational content type channels, and I would look to see with those particular channels the type of imagery that they're using and kind of like the style that they're using with their thumbnails for the ones that are doing the best. And I would try to replicate that for now while you're trying to get your footing. And the reason for that is because if the channels that are leading the space are doing particular things in terms of they're creating a style for that genre of content, then in that case, what you want to do is you want to help people identify that your content is motivational through that style. So when they see that thumbnail, they're like, oh, this is probably a motivational video. Without having to even read the title, they can, you know, get that information. So I would definitely do that. When it comes to the titles of your videos, I'm not sure if you're doing this or not, but I would experiment with things like, like emotional type things when it comes to the motivation, like, you know, motivational stuff to help you make it through your workday and you know, like that kind of stuff. Targeted. And yeah, I would experiment with that kind of stuff for the sake of, you know, just kind of tapping into, you know, the things that people feel. Because when it comes to motivational stuff, it's all about the feeling, right? By the time they're done with the video, you want them to be all pumped up. So, you know, explaining how they're going to feel, you know, after the video in a, you know, super concise way is definitely something I'd try to apply to that.
I would even use, if you're not already, I would use even the free version of ChatGPT just to try to give you some ideas. Like I'm trying to really reach people on an emotional level and tap into their feelings and what could motivate people feeling different ways. You know, what are 20, you know, motivational videos I can make to connect with people on an emotional level, something like that. Because that's what it comes down to. Same with music. Like people generally like music, well, they used to, based on, you know, like, wow, that song, you know, the lyrics or just whatever, it makes me feel a certain way. Same thing with motivation. When people are seeking out motivational content, they're looking for somebody to say the right thing at the right time to do whatever it is, you know, beat procrastination, get out of depression, make them take action, get over somebody in a relationship, whatever. You know, you got to think about why somebody might want to listen to motivational content in the first place and tailor that to them.
So I'm looking at this wide shot right now and it looks so messy. I'm like, man, we need more stuff on the desk, I think. I mean, after I said, hey, dude, let's get some helmets on the desk, right? Yeah. So now, now I'm complaining about it. But I'm not really complaining. I'm just saying that's like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Not really. I mean,
turn this one this way so that it looks good from here, and
be careful because that's not a even.
And so it looks good from that side too, because it's kind of from the side.
Make sure that I swear if that falls off.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That'll be a great show. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great show.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up on the list here, we've got, and by the way, if you are, a YouTube content creator, which I'm assuming you are, being here that you are going to be, if you have a question about anything it is that you're doing, anything you're trying to figure out, anything like that, go ahead and put it down into the form, and we will get to, we should be able to get to that question. So if you go ahead and put it in the form now, in order to get to that form, if you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn or X or anywhere else, or even here on YouTube, if you go to nickniman.com/ask, it will redirect you to that form, and then you can put your question in there. So next up on the list, oh, and one more thing too, if you are here on YouTube, at the very top of the screen, I have a pinned comment up there. And with that pinned comment, it has to get notified when my app goes live, go to nickniman.com/go/app alerts. So if you are interested in the app that I made, it's an iOS app for content creators. It's been submitted to Apple, so right now I'm just going back and forth through the review process. It might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, I'm not sure. I'm just going back and forth with them constantly trying to get it approved. But once they approve it, then I'm going to send a message to you guys first before I talk about it on the channel or anything like that. So if you are interested in getting notified about that, then just make sure that you do put your information in that pinned comment at the very top of the screen. So next up, we've got Enrakalkalam. I hope I'm saying that correctly. They do home remedy content. The question is, I can't reach my watch time. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah. So
nobody could until they
could.
Did.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's an important thing to understand, and I'm going to say this at the end of the stream too. But when it comes to content in the videos that you're publishing, it can be really discouraging a lot because you're putting in all this work and you're doing the best that you can right now, and you publish a video and it just doesn't get legs and it doesn't get the response that you were hoping that it would get, and because of that, in your brain, you're thinking to yourself like, man, I can't even believe that this video isn't doing well. I put in all this work. I spent hours on this, or days or weeks working on this, and it's got, a low amount of views. Like, what am I even doing this for? And blah, blah, blah. And you start having like all of these, things that go along with that emotionally. Just if you are feeling that way, I recommend that you just embrace the idea that YouTube is a learning curve, right? Just like anything else. So because of that, you're just early in the learning curve right now. Like, we're all always learning, right? Like, with my channel,
always.
Like, I've got a big channel, but I'm still, constantly, learning. Dee's got a big channel. He's constantly learning. Everybody that I know that has big channels, they're constantly learning. Like, the whole thing with all of this stuff is that when you start in the beginning, it's the hardest because you have a lot to learn, because there's just lots that goes into having good videos that you put out onto YouTube. Yeah. Like Dee mentioned earlier, some people can seemingly do it, naturally. But for other people, it's a lot of work because it's just not, the thing that they focused on or whatever. And because of that, it can be challenging. So if you're in that situation where you're like, man, I'm just trying to get some watch time on my videos, it's driving me crazy, I just want to get monetized. If you're in that position, just hang in there and just embrace that you're in the learning curve and focus as much time as you can on skill development and understanding who it is that you're targeting with your content, and just trying to make every video as good as it can possibly be through learning how to make good videos, right? When you watch all the YouTube help videos and all that stuff like I make, some of them are going to help you at different points in your journey. But the thing that you need to focus on more than anything is like, okay, how do I edit a good video that people will enjoy? How do I come up with really good topics that people will be likely to enjoy? How do I make my thumbnails so that people can identify it's about something that they care about? And how can I make sure that I don't add anything else to it that's going to distract them from that? And then I can make it just real easy for them to know that it's their, something that they care about. And then when it comes to your titles, you have to make sure that, you are spending the time learning how to write titles. But there's a lot of skill sets that you have to learn at the beginning. So it's challenging, but you can do it. You got this. You just have to embrace the learning curve and then get to work on developing the skills around it.
Lots to learn, and it's never ending.
Yeah, it is constant. Yeah,
and it's relative too, because regardless of how good you're doing, you know that you can be doing better.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, I'm only getting a 40% watch time on this. How can I get this to 50%?
Right.
How can I get this to 60%? How can I increase my click-through rate by 10 more percent or 5 more percent?
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're constantly, or how successful you are with your channel, You're constantly trying to do better, which means you're in a constant state of learning.
Yeah.
How can I get that extra 5%? How can I get that extra 10%? Why did I think this video was going to land and connect, and it just flopped?
Yeah.
Spectacularly. It flopped. Why? Like, yeah, it's just, it's never ending.
Yep.
And it's equally as frustrating. Maybe more so.
Yeah.
Because you think you have a better understanding of what's going on. But it's like, why isn't this working?
Yep.
Technically, it should work.
Yogi Marquise, thank you for the super chat. Says, thank you. Your commentary on Yoga Marquise is helping me on my mission to bring health, wellness, love, and happiness, joy, and peace to all who are willing to receive. Peace, blessings, and abundance for all. Thank you for that.
Love it, man.
And thank you for the kind words, and thanks for adding some positivity and light, right? Like right now, the world needs as much of that as possible.
You're going to need it if that helmet falls off.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was talking about, because here in a second, I'm going to start kicking the thing over here. So Jada Francis is the next channel here. They have been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do cooking, short, scary stories, and a variety of content. The question is, should I be posting everything like I do? I wanted it to be a family channel, but that seems to not be working for me. And my thumbnails are my thumbnails a problem? Something new that I started to do? Thank you, Jada. So first, you mentioned that you are making kind of variety content. So on YouTube in 2025, that is not the path that you want to take. So if you are just trying to figure out like, hey, I don't know what I'm going to make content about yet, and I'm not sure what type of channel I'm going to build. So because of that, I'm going to make content and publish those videos just so I can stay in motion. So if I'm doing that to stay in motion and, you know, all of that stuff, then keep doing that. But once you do have something that does substantially better, you want to start walking in that direction. And by substantially better, I mean that, you know, you get more, you know, a considerable amount of more videos on that video than you do the other videos. And when it comes to, the variety content, the whole reason that it's a problem is because, one, things are topical now, where it used to be like, hey, what channels you subscribe to? But now it's about what topics you're interested in. So because of that, when you are publishing videos, if you publish a video on cooking, and then you publish a video on scary stories, and then you publish a video on something else, then that viewer that came in for cooking, if they don't care about the other things, it makes them hard for them to watch, you know, more of your content. If YouTube's trying to recommend other content from your channel, it makes it hard for their system to recommend the right content to them. But if you're like, okay, I'm going to make content for this type of person that's interested in these very specific things, then in that, we call it niching down. Then in that case, you know, you are building a resource of content for people that are interested in very specific things, like, you know, crafting, for example, or cooking, or scary short stories, or, you know, something like that. And then that way, when they go and they interact with your content, it's easy for YouTube to recommend them the right content. It's easy for them to binge watch your content. It's easy for you to know what to make next, because you know, hey, is this a good fit for them? Yes, no. And if it is, then you can make it. If not, then you don't make it. But it just makes everything easier. Even though it sounds like it might be harder, it makes it easier when you niche down and you start, you know, really making content for a very particular type of viewer. Magic Pepper says, hey guys, had to jump out for a bit. Any chance that my super chat got answered earlier? It did. Yeah, we got that covered. I'm not sure exactly where in the stream that it was.
30 minutes ago, maybe?
Yeah, maybe about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So next up, see here, Logo Tours NI. What's going on? Hope you are doing great. Sue, hope that you're doing awesome. Yasik says, had to unlist my cooking videos and open another channel because it was confusing. Yep.
There you go.
Yep. So, so next up, we've got, did we do Jada Francis yet? Should be posting everything like I do. Okay, that's the one we just answered. So then next, we've got Lawnscapes America. They upload 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for less than a year. They do street sweeping and landscaping, which is cool. Goal is to quit their job and be a full-time creator. And the question is, why does my short video say over 6 million views at my analytics say 2.5 million? I'm trying to get into the partner program. So one, it could be just a CDN problem. Like if it just popped, then it could just be that, you know, everything's just catching up, because sometimes numbers will display differently in one page than the other. Typically inside of your analytics is the real, you know, numbers. Also, when it comes to shorts, there's a couple of different things going on right now. So YouTube just made an update a couple of weeks ago where, hold on, I just got a mod thing here. Okay, we got it covered. Okay.
Got it.
But basically, YouTube had an update recently where they have Where they used to just show engaged views as the number on your YouTube Shorts, now they just show impressions essentially on your YouTube Shorts, but they mark that as a view. And since they mark that as a view, it's confusing because it makes you think that that's what the view count is. But then when you go into your analytics, the thing that actually counts is your engaged views. And since your engaged views are the things that actually count, that's the thing that you have to make sure that you're keeping an eye on when you are trying to get into the partner program. So, because of that update, it does make things a little bit confusing there. But it's definitely, like I would just lean on the low number for the engaged views. And then when it comes to the 6 million views that you're seeing from the outside, just look at that as like a, okay, this is just an impression, basically, which means that they've showed it to somebody. Future of Food with Chef Kelly, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Says, thanks, guys. D, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah,
if you ever do those lives with newbies, let me know. Oh, nice.
Oh, a
nice.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, so D's gonna start doing that.
Yep. Yeah, I just haven't started doing it again yet.
Did we do Future of Food? No, I don't think we did that yet.
No.
So Imperial Remnant is our next channel. They do daily content, but on YouTube for a year or more. They do Star Wars lore. And
by the way, I just want to say Future of Food. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. So because I won't let you know here.
Oh, yeah, for your channel?
Yeah.
And I got a link to Dee's channel down in the description.
Yeah, and keep an eye on my community post feed. Because if I'm going to do it, I'll give you a heads up on that.
Yeah, nice.
At least a couple of days.
I mean, we could trial by fire and just bring them on right now.
We could.
Yeah, you just want to bring them on right now? We don't have audio, though. We don't have a way to hear them. Like I don't have headphones over here. Oh, yeah, I do have headphones.
Not on this stream.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'd have to get,
Okay. Yeah, hey, say trial by fire. Just bring them on like right now. Right? But yeah. Hey, Renee, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing great.
D is back. Beskar helmet is back.
Yep.
Engaged views are a thing. Feels like
summer. Yep.
Happy early May the 4th, Renee.
Early May the 4th.
Yep.
This would be May the 4th Eve, I guess. Or technically the 3rd, I guess, is what we could call it.
We can call it the 3rd, which is May the 4th Eve.
Yeah, May the 4th Eve.
As we'll call it in Star Wars land. Yeah.
But Imperial Remnant says, I'm working on some larger videos that I want to release in parts. I'm understanding putting 1 and 4 in the title could turn people off. The parts can be watched independently out of order, but as a series, they are a full story. What's the best approach to walk this line? How should I wait before releasing all 4 as a compilation? How long should I wait? And thanks. So what I would do is I would do your regular upload schedule. I would put them into a playlist, and then I would make sure that each video does work well as a standalone video so that somebody doesn't have to have context from the other videos in order to be able to understand everything that's going on in the current video. And then they would be able to still follow that story. And this is going to, you're going to need some creativity on your part to put it all together this way. But basically, in every one of those videos, you want to drive people into the playlist itself. And at the end of the first one, you can drive people to an unlisted video if you want to. But the downside of that is that you are that view isn't necessarily going to count until, people go in and they start watching it publicly. So because of that, you do kind of work against yourself a little bit there. So, that particular part's up to you, but that is a way that you can actually, continue that view on that first video. Technically, you could do it on the entire chain. But again, the downside of that is if that one video just does amazing, then when you publish the other one, they might still do amazing too. But a lot of that core audience that, might get recommended that video, they might have already interacted with that video. So because of that, I would just make each video like a standalone. You can say somewhere in the video that it is, a part of a series and that you have a playlist maybe in the pinned comment down in the video description and at the end of your video that people can click on to follow the rest of the series and then just put everything together in a playlist so that people can watch them together. And then, of course, first video is going to be a little bit challenging, but once you get past that one, then they'll be able to go and continue the story from there. So if they are watching that first video, then, just letting them know. I mean, technically you don't have to say anything, but, giving them some context at the very end that it is from a series. As I'm publishing the other videos, they're going to be in this playlist here. And then that way, people can, subscribe to that or bookmark that playlist, or they can just wait for that other video. But for the people that start coming into that video once the other videos are published, then they'll get the actual real experience there. But just be really careful on the language, because that language is only going to be relevant for, and by the language I mean how you're handing off to that next video or into the playlist, because that message is only going to be relevant for that first bit of time until you publish the next video. So you got to be really careful with that for longevity. So next up, We've got, by the way, if you are a YouTube content creator, which you probably are, you're getting ready to be.
You better be if you're in here.
If you have a question that you want answered, we do have room for more. So if you do have a question that you want answered, just make sure that you do put it in the forum. You can go to nickniman.ask. If you are on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, just head over to nickniman.com/ask and put it in the forum, and then we will get it answered on the stream today. We definitely have room.
I saw somebody ask earlier.
We're down to like 3 more questions.
I saw someone ask earlier if they can ask more than one question. Yeah, go ahead and put another question in.
Yep.
If we put in one question and we have room to get to, we have time to get to the second question. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, and Renee also mentions here. He says record both. Use a studio editor to switch between. So next up, oh, this was something else, I think. Okay, yeah, that was something else. Sorry. Okay, so next up we have Cody's Outdoor Videos. Uploads when he has time. They do outdoor exploring content. The goal of the channel is to have fun. Says, I use iMovie to make my videos, and they're usually 30 to 40 minutes long. Is that too long? If people are enjoying it, no. If people are not getting that far in the video, then in that case, you might want to dial it down a bit. But like 30 to 40-minute videos are great for, if you put it together right, they're great for people kicking back on their TV and, you know, just sitting there and watching like an entire episode of what it is that you're doing. So, man, I wish, Danielle, if you're still in here, could you mention... There's a car channel that Danielle showed me when we were hanging out in the UK that is really good. And I can't think of the name off the top of my channel, but they do an amazing job. They've got like millions and millions of subscribers. But when it comes to long form content, like they're a great model to follow for how they put things together and how they make everything, you know, engaging. Like it feels, it's a YouTube video, but it feels like you're watching like a legit, you know, like a reality show or something. They do an amazing job on that channel.
Like I just can't remember the name. A well-produced show.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Let's see here. So next up on the list, we've got Patstro. Patstro uploads 1 time per week or more. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I do all the parts of the video, including editing and the text, only using voiceovers of AI. Is this a problem, or are there any good own voice cloning program and possible to record all the long texts? So yeah, so you can use 11 Labs and you can clone your own voice in 11 Labs. So with 11 Labs, you can do like a quick clone, which I think might be like 3 minutes or something of audio. And then you can do the really good one, which is what, 3 hours, I believe, or 2 hours.
They ask for 3 hours, but the more you give them, the better. Yeah. I think I uploaded maybe 30 minutes worth or something like that.
Yeah, but yours came out great.
Mine came out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine if you put in 3 hours worth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so what you can do to that is if you're trying to clone your own voice, because you're a content creator, you probably have a lot of content. So one of the things you can do is you can actually just drop all of those things into a timeline to where it makes sense, and then export that audio track out, process it so everything sounds the way that you want it to sound and all of that, and then upload that audio track up into there, or you can just sit there and talk into your microphone for a while. So next up, we've got Future of Food. Here it is. Uploads 1 time per week or more. They do news and politics content. The goal of the channel is to quit their job and to be a full-time creator. And the question is, says, I've been itching to talk about the news, RFK, FDA, USDA, etc., because I've got some strong opinions on what is going on, and I'm embedded in a lot of food policy. When I post my lives, YouTube categorizes me as news and politics, and I follow a lot of those creators like Pac-Man and Midas. There's literally no one in my space, not with any insider experience. Is that a good thing or bad thing? Should I lean into RFK and food politics? I'm thinking of doing 2 to 3 segments a day. I'm comfortable live talking to the camera, but I'm not sure. Is there so much to learn? Advice. So, yeah, I mean, if you're interested in politics and you are an insider in the industry, and you have opinions about everything that's happening, absolutely. In my opinion, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think that you should definitely lean into that because, you know, the insight that you might bring to that, you know, could be very valuable to a lot of people that are, you know, consuming a lot of, you know, this information that's coming out about all the things that are happening. So because of that, yeah, I think that that could definitely be something that you could lean into, and it gives you the opportunity to hop on things that are trending as well. Yep. And because of that, you know, it gives you the opportunity to, you know, really blow things up if people are responding well to the content. And also when it comes to being opinionated and those sorts of things. So when it comes to from a branding perspective, one of the best things you can do for a brand is have like good, strong opinions. And the reason for that is because that opinion is like a dividing line. And it's like you're, you know, against this or you're for this. You might be somewhere in the middle, but most people are for it or against it. And the people that are against it, they're going to come in just because they, you know, just because they hate the things that you're saying, and they're going to come in and they're going to engage with your content because of that. And then the people that love what you're saying, they're going to come in there because you're reinforcing the ideas that they thought anyway, or that they're going to learn from you, or whatever the things are. So, you know, that line in the sand, so to speak, that you create with your opinion, yeah, that type of thing can also be very valuable when it comes to growing a channel. So if you have strong opinions, which you mentioned that you do, and you are going to hop on trending things that are happening because you can publish a lot of content in the day, then yeah, I think that you have a good opportunity there, as long as people respond well to the content, because at the end of the day, that's always the underlying factor, right? So you have to make sure that people are responding well. But if they are, then yeah, you have the opportunity there to really blow things up, especially because you said that you're fine going live, you're fine making videos, all that stuff. Yeah, like you can just, you could ride this opportunity right now because, you know, as I'm sure you know, there's going to be a lot to talk about, you know, for the next handful of years. So because of that, yeah, I think that it's a really good opportunity for you if you choose to walk that path.
I agree. Making a strong stand, being polarizing, essentially.
Yeah.
Be polarizing, have a strong opinion. I would do your long form videos. I would definitely go live, but I would also put a lot of lines out there with shorts and TikTok and like every possible way for short form content, and just
long form too. Yeah, I would definitely
that's what I mean. That's what I said, do your long form, but I would also put those lines out there.
Yeah, because you're willing to make a bunch of content every day and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
if you're willing to do it, I would just I would make sure those clips by themselves either make people want to agree with you, or make people want to fight with you in the comments. Yeah, if you can do that, you're gonna blow up.
Roberto Blake, who knows what he's doing, like Roberto's he's like an expert YouTube strategist. Also, he says the easiest way to get views is to make the most polarizing title possible. You just have to navigate whether you can do that ethically.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely an avenue that I would walk.
And if you think about all the
if I was into it, like Dee and I were talking about before, like for me, I try to like avoid that kind of stuff just because, you know, like we don't even live over there anymore and like all that. So it's, you know, there's really no need like getting all fired up about it for us. But I mean, there is, because it will impact us because we live and die by the dollar.
To a degree,
but you know, we're just not like into it. But if we were, we would definitely have like a political channel. We'd probably do this exactly, but we'd change logos and stuff.
We'd put Roberto there. Roberto the call-in for the TV. I will say this though, from someone who lives outside of the U.S. watching the U.S. right now.
It's a clown show. It's a circus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's been gradual for like if you're in the States, like this has been kind of like a gradual kind of build up.
It's been building for several years.
For us, we just get like little bites of it when we kind of check in, and it's just like, holy cow, what's going on over there?
Yeah, the divide over there is because because we're not on either side, but it's interesting watching from abroad. From the overview on that. And it's been building for a couple of years. It's absolutely insane to watch because you're not connected to it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't care which happens on either side, but it's just wild to watch.
When I used to live in America, even back then, I heard people saying things about, you know, like foreigners and how they look at America and stuff like that. Like, I feel like one of those people now, like looking at America, just going like this, just going like, oh my God. like what's going, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Absolutely
crazy.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's that way all over the place in terms of just like it's tribal.
Yeah.
It's tribal. It's completely split and absolutely tribal. And it's just wild to witness from a distance. Good luck.
Yep.
I wish you all the best of luck with that stuff. Roberto says, I hate politics, but I would go all in with the TV. There you go.
So I reckon Kalam will be live next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern as well.
Yep.
We go live every Saturday. I'm going to start going live during the week as well from home. So during those live streams,
you're going to sneak an extra one in? About what?
Yeah, so I'll probably do some channel review stuff. I'll do some monetization stuff, and I also want to start previewing some tools as well.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so basically showing people how to use some of this stuff and showing people like the walkthrough that we did on analytics, for example, like doing that kind of stuff, and just giving some more like tactical hands-on things to show people like what some of the cool tools can do, and to show people like how to find stuff and like that kind of thing.
Good stuff.
Yep. So next up, we've got Yaxis says, I hope I'm saying that correctly. The question is, I struggle with keeping a script. It feels fake. What do you recommend for someone like me to be more authentic when recording? Bullet points. So using scripts can make you feel fake. So if you want to get past that, then just learning how to, read a script. So if you're going to do scripts, because I've done both a lot, and when it comes to scripts, they do the same for me, to where they kind of strip away the authenticity. And I have to really put in a lot of conscious effort when it comes to trying to make it feel like natural communication. Like, I have to be really mindful about it. And I have to think about, like, okay, I'm saying this, and I have to really monitor, like, did I say that right? Sometimes I'll play it back in the camera and I'm like, that sounded like a little bit, off. So then I'll have to say it again. And, I have to do a lot of takes. When it comes to bullet points, it's different. So for me, if I have bullet points, I'll always script the hook. But when it comes to the body of the video, or the actual content side of the video, a lot of times I'll just run off of bullet points, and then I'll make like little scripts as notes that are important. So if I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about numbers, I'm going to talk about how to actually navigate to this thing that I'm talking about inside a Creator Studio or something like that, then I'll make notes on that so that I can read those and make sure that everything's accurate and all of that. But when it comes to the content that I know, then in that case, just run it off bullet points. I'm going to talk about this, 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 and this. And then what I'll do is I'll say the thing based on how I'm thinking about it, and I'll communicate it in my natural way. And then when that is finished, then I'll say, okay, I liked that, or I don't. If I don't like how it came out, then I will, I'll say it again. And sometimes it'll be exactly the same. Sometimes it'll be a little bit different. Sometimes it'll be completely different. But I just kind of let it come out in terms of how I'm just thinking about it, and then present it that way. And then do the same exact thing for the next clip. And I'll think, okay, how did I end that? What did I say? And what's the idea I'm trying to express? And then how did I end that specifically, so that when I start it on this next clip, that I come in, right. So when the video is being put together in the editing process, that, the pacing and everything feels right, and the communication, kind of seems, just like natural conversation, kind of. But for me, I found bullet points to be a great way to just kind of express yourself in the way that you normally are, because then you're just focusing on getting the information out of your brain, instead of focusing on making sure that you're saying the right words that were in the script. Because when you're focusing on that, I think that's part of what makes it feel robotic, is because instead of communicating the idea, you are making sure and monitoring that you're saying the right things that you had written down in the script. And I think that's where it just starts getting weird in our brains. But you can practice, and if you keep practicing, you'll get good at scripts too. But the way that I've personally found that I can communicate more naturally is through using bullet points. When I started doing that, actually, like back in the day, when I started doing that, people started responding better to my videos when I went off script. So that other channel that I showed earlier, that All Our Questions channel that we were in the stats of earlier, for that particular channel, everything was scripted, word for word, jokes when I would laugh, like everything. It was scripted 100%. And it was fun, putting that stuff together. I did have some things like when I was out in the world. So like, for example, Dee and I, we traveled around a little bit, and during those times I made some videos of some places and things like that, and I'd freestyle those, but I would have notes on the things I was going to talk about. But for the ones that I made when I was at home, those were scripted. Like everything about them was scripted. And I learned how to use a script, but it just didn't feel that right, because I'm not trying to communicate. I'm trying to make sure that I say the script right, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I also do bullet points.
Yeah.
I don't know how, and kudos to anyone who can put a script up and read the script and sound natural.
Yeah.
I know some people can, but a lot of times too, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like you're watching a video, you can kind of tell they're going through a script.
I can tell when somebody's reading a script. Not always, but like for a lot of creators, I can tell when they're reading a script, and I can tell when they're reading a teleprompter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's time, if you have something that's really technical and you need to read it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yep.
I get it. Read it if you have to. But I think if you're making looser content, you want it to feel more conversational and authentic, I think bullet points is the way to go. But do what you need to do.
Right. Yeah, Rachel, you can definitely get your question in there. For sure. Yeah, if you get it, I'm actually right now I'm on the last question. So if you get it in there now, then I'll be able to answer it. So yeah, if anybody has a question, you want it to be up next besides Rachel, because she's putting one in there now. Just go ahead and get it in there now. We just had another one come in, so make sure that you do get it in there if you do have a question.
Imperial Remnant says, I fully script over a year, and it's mostly natural sounding, I hope.
Yeah, it takes a lot of reps. Yeah, that's the difference, right? Is I think that
you put the reps in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also, when they're reading a script, they will expect to just go through the whole thing, or just through like this big part of it. But really, you just got to get through, a sentence at a time or just like a couple of sentences at a time. And then, you just say it a bunch until you have enough to work with. So like when we talk about recording for the edit, the idea there is that, you just say it enough times so that you can make sure that you have enough material to work with when you're putting the video together. Travis, MCP in the house, MVP in our world. What's going on, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. He scripted this comment. That's good.
That's how he does it.
Hey, dude, I love your set. On your vidIQ, podcast that you do.
Amazing, dude.
Awesome set. I just want to show this to people real quick. Hold on. It's a really cool set that they have for the vidIQ podcast. Hold on. vidIQ.
It looks fantastic.
I don't think that's on the main channel. Hold on. I just put in vidIQ. Yeah, vidIQ podcast. Yeah. So I got to show you guys this. This is so cool. So really quick, first off, I just want to share this with people. So Travis's podcast here that he does with vidIQ, they share a lot of good stuff here about YouTube in general. So this channel, they got like 85 videos on here. I encourage you to come over and subscribe to this because they have some really good shows. Yeah. But basically here they talk about things like building confidence in content creation, why only 50 views is amazing. A lot of encouragement going on over here, which is really cool. But basically when it comes to, nope, that one's not the in-person. Hold on.
Three over. It's her. No, one more.
Oh, right here. Yeah, this.
Welcome back to the only.
Love that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's get this wide shot. Yeah, love this. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks absolutely.
Now, Travis.
Love it.
Strike this stream down.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got, he's got the big logo in the background. They're both just like chilling. Yeah, like this is a great setup. When I ran across this, Travis, I sent this to D, and I was like, man, they just totally leveled up what it is that they're doing over there. But really cool stuff that you guys have going on over there.
Yeah, Travis, I would love to see a behind the scenes photo.
Yeah.
Or something. I'm fascinated.
Yep.
I bet that looks. I'd love to see you guys how you did how the lights are set up. It looks fantastic, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good job with that.
Yeah. Travis MVP. Woo, woo, woo,
yep.
woo, woo, woo. I feel, you know what?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that. I left a comment in one of those, and I was like, hey man, excellent set.
We need an air horn. So when Travis comes in, it's like Travis MVP, and
you should have one by default in there.
I don't have an
unless you took it off.
I don't have the air horn.
Oh, okay. So next up,
how do you like my air horn?
That was good. That's like a chicken.
That's like a chicken.
That's like an injured chicken. That's what that was. So you need to work on your air horn.
It was like a chicken with plantar fasciitis and a broken kneecap.
Yep. Walking over Legos.
Exactly
So Lego Tours NI is the next question here. They do daily content. The goal is to make money. And the question is, I want to go live, but it says live streaming has been disabled, but I've not done anything. My friend and sister walked into the background under 13. I have received any emails or notifications from YouTube. So yeah, it could be that you had kids on there. That sort of thing YouTube does not take lightly. So it could be that. But here's what I recommend that you do, just to kind of get it all sorted. As long as your content isn't made for kids, reach out to Team YouTube on X or Twitter, whichever way you want to say it, and let them know the problem that you're having and see if they can help you in some way. Or you can use your your customer support email on inside of your Creator Studio. So next up, we've got Stillwater's Scripture. They've been on YouTube for less than a month. Welcome to the creator side of YouTube. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, do you think this is a good niche? I thought there would be plenty of people wanting to view this type of content. What do you think about me putting different colors to my content? Thank you so much. So let me just kind of take a quick gander here. And just a heads up, because you're getting started, you said, I thought there would be more people interested in this. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't even go in there. You said that you thought there would be more people interested in it. One thing that's really important to just embrace when it comes to YouTube, it's just redirecting me to YouTube's homepage. Yeah, your channel isn't your channel link isn't working for me. But basically, when you are publishing content to YouTube, you're doing a Bible verse and prayer channel. So when you're publishing content to YouTube, it's important to know that sometimes there is a lot of people that are interested in what it is that, that type of content, but maybe you are just not reaching them yet because you still have to work on just some of the foundational best practices of YouTube. Because you say here that you've been on YouTube for less than a month, which is why I'm saying this. So when it comes to YouTube, a lot of people, they experience YouTube as a viewer. And when you experience YouTube as a viewer, you see videos with tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views, tens of millions of views in some cases, depending on what you're watching. And because of that, it can inflate your expectation of what's going to happen when you publish a video. Because by default, you're like, man, all these views going around, they got over 2 billion users on the platform. Like, if you publish a video, then, you know, people are going to come in and watch it. Kind of like the build it and they'll come concept. But really, everything on YouTube is a competition, and you have to be able to compete with the other videos that are on the platform that YouTube is showing your content to. So because of that, I'm sure, you know, just because if you look at, you know, people that are interested in the Bible, there's a lot of people, and there's other channels on YouTube that do well, that do, you know, prayer and Bible verses and things like that. So you do have an audience for the content, but you just have to learn the process of creating content that gets a positive response on YouTube. There's a lot that goes into that. So just embrace the learning curve. I had like a whole, you know, mention that I did about this earlier in the stream, but just embrace the learning curve. And instead of thinking of it like, yeah, I don't think there's, you know, or I just thought there would be more, think of it through the lens of like, okay, I need to start working on how to make this stuff better so that when YouTube shows it to people, they'll respond to it better from right when they see it on a homepage or right when the short pops up if you're doing shorts. And then when they come into the actual video content, that they, you know, come in and they have a good experience with that video content. And you know, that skill development comes through repetition of doing the work, doing the art, right? And then also actively trying to say, okay, what can I do better with this video that I haven't done in the other videos yet? What can I do to this video to make it a little bit better? Watch your videos back. Look at your audience retention reports in your videos. See how people are responding. See, you know, the things that you can do to improve. Next. Caribbean Captain. Uploads one time per week or more. Been on YouTube for less than a month. Dedicated to flight simulators is the type of channel. And the question is, really enjoying the content thus far. I have a question, idea, request. Do you do any one-on-one mentorship? I'm not taking on clients at this moment in time, but if you want to DM me on X or send me an email at askniman@gmail.com, let me know the goals that you're trying to accomplish, and then I can give you recommendations on who's the best fit for that. Because there's a lot of like YouTube consultants out there, YouTube strategists, whatever you want to call it. But you know, not everybody is an expert in everything. So there's people that are expert in like, you know, entertainment channels, people that are best at helping like smaller business channels, you know, get more traction, like that kind of stuff. So because of that, if you want to just reach out to me there, I'll just let me know what you're trying to accomplish and I'll connect you with the person that can help you. And then from there, costs vary and all that stuff. So then you can just, you know, reach out to them and then, you know, they'll get you sorted. But it says, so you're to record and publish a session. Yeah, and what you're saying right here in terms of would it be valuable to your channel to record and publish the session? Yeah, people, you know, try to do that, and you know, and you're not trying to do this because you mentioned cost and stuff, but I've had a lot of people over time that are like, hey, you know, just do it and then publish it to your channel and we'll track my channel and blah, blah. But, you know, like I don't need that. You know, I've got my own channel to show that, you know, I know what I'm doing. So because of that, I don't have to do demonstrations there. And for the people that I, you know, have worked with, you know, I have them, you know, as well. So because of that, you know, I don't need to demonstrate that stuff. And my goal with this channel isn't to get consulting clients. My goal with this channel is to, you know, help content creators learn how to thrive so that hopefully you guys can have a transformational experience with your YouTube channels like I have. That's what I'm trying to do here. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Rachel Smits, uploads one time per week or more. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, after a few viral videos, I'm back just a few hundred and I'm not getting it. Why? Or what can I do to get the views back up? So if you had videos pop, then if you weren't able to keep that train rolling, it comes down to the decisions that you made after those videos popped. So, you know, sometimes you publish stuff and, you know, people respond well to it. And then you're like, okay, here it goes. And then you make decisions that aren't necessarily in alignment, you know, with what it was, or those particular videos just topically or something like that, or the timing around those videos or whatever, they, you know, just ended up getting traction for those types of things. And sometimes you just make videos that smash, and then the next videos, you just don't put that same formula together, right? So like right here, oh, I see you're starting to talk about like some controversial stuff. So I remember before, yeah, you have like speak with confidence and charisma.
Oh, they changed direction?
Yeah, it looks like it. Hold on.
That'll do it.
Oh, okay. I see what they're doing. Okay. So they're still doing that type of content, but they're leaning on like trending figures. So yeah, okay, interesting. Okay, I like what you're doing, actually. It looked like you went in like a completely different direction, but I like what you're doing here with some of this stuff. So let's see here. So let's look for the video that popped. Okay, so you have Meghan Markle. Her fake habits destroyed her likability. Is your video right here. So yeah, with this one, could have been the trend. You followed it up with a video of her again. That video had 65,000 views, and then you started talking about somebody else. So the move there would have been, if possible, being like, hey, they're liking her, talk about her again, which you did, and you got 65,000 views on that, and then talk about her again and just kind of ride that train for as long as you can. And then in addition to that, also, while you are talking about her, I'm not sure who she is because I don't follow any of the stuff that you're talking about here, any of the people that you're talking about here. But when it comes to, except Morgan Freeman and Keanu Reeves, I do like them. But basically, when it comes to her, I'm not sure who she is or what she did. But when you are deciding on the next people to talk about, if you're not going to try to ride, her name, making sure that you are talking about people that are interested in her would also be interested in, right? Which might be the case with some of these other people that you're talking about. But do you know who Meghan Markle is?
I don't.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what the thing is there.
Is she a politician though?
I have no idea. I don't know who she is. There's like a lot of political, figures on here, but there's also some like regular
Duchess
celebrities
of Sussex.
too. Okay. So yeah, basically just making sure that you are following that trend, and when you have videos pop like this, then you have that opportunity that you've tapped into a particular figure that somebody's interested in. So then from there, you start looking at, oh, she's married to Prince Harry. Okay. So from there, you start looking into, other people that people that are interested in her might also be interested in. So go into any like celebrity drama or celebrity, type communities and start seeing, people that are talking about her, like who are some other people that those people are talking about. And then you try to follow that same, try to follow the people that those people care about. And it's helpful if you, are also into that as well. Couple things too is go and look at those videos. Look at how they performed, right? So go and look at your retention. Go and see compared to other videos. In your audience retention report, you have a drop down that shows how your videos compared to other videos of similar length. Go and look at that. Just see how people responded in comparison to other videos. Look at your retention to see how long people were watching for. If you find that people are watching these videos for a substantially longer period of time compared to the other videos, then in that particular case, go and look structurally, like what exactly did I say when this video started? And then I did what, and then I showed what, and then I started talking about what, and start taking notes on all of that. And then from a structural standpoint, try to, replicate it with some of the next videos that you do. Those would be the next steps to try there. Next up, we've got...
Have a good one, Nikki. Thanks for coming by.
Hey, Nikki. Take care. Build Fix with Mooney. Thanks for Super Chat. Appreciate it. Says, hey, Nick and D. Thank you for answering all of my questions for 2 years. My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content. Well, I know you always do celebrities. That's what I see on the channel. But what I'm talking about is you said that you had videos that popped and then you can't replicate it. So what I'm telling you, Rachel, is that if you are going to be making videos of other celebrities, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is if you're like, hey, in this moment in time, a lot of people are talking about her and they're interested in her right now because you know how fast that moves with celebrities. So, this is like a, strike while the iron's hot type of moment, and then you talk about her.
Are they doing reactions? Is that what they're doing?
I think she's breaking down like their communication and charisma and all that stuff. So basically what you want to do is you want to say, okay, people are talking about her right now, so I'm going to make the videos on her. And then the next people that I'm going to talk about, they should be people that are interested in her would also be interested in, so that you can make sure that you're tapping into that particular type of viewer who's interested in the type of content that you're making in terms of helping people with charisma and all of that, but you're wrapping it around celebrities that they are familiar with and that they care about. That's the idea. And another thing too is like, I don't know with her, I don't know if she was like trending or what the thing was there, but also having, that to make sure that, that if it was a timing thing, then trying to replicate that too can also be advantageous. So using Google Trends to find out the celebrities that people are talking about right now, being a part of all of the celebrity communities to see like, okay, who's everybody talking about right now? Going to Reddit, because Reddit has a trending page where you can see, if you just go to the search bar and you tap search there, then Reddit also shows you some things that are trending right now, and just look for celebrities that are into stuff that you can, use as examples in how they're communicating and all of that stuff to essentially strike on that particular person while they're hot in that moment.
Yeah, I would be on top of trends nonstop.
Yeah.
I would set up Google Alerts, make.com. Like I would set up so many things to constantly be looking for what's trending. I would wake up to have an inbox full of these things are trending right now.
Yep.
These celebrities are trending right now. These things are happening right now.
Yeah, this is a really good point, and I'm going to highlight this for a second. So Renee mentions, he says that sensational takedown content can pull a lot of views. So her content isn't takedown content. So with her content, she's teaching people about like charisma and like that sort of thing. So unless I just didn't look into it enough, I don't think it's like content where she's like slamming them per se. I think it's more about just how she's analyzing how they communicate and stuff like that. But what he says here is he says that, and this is just good to note, in that scenario in case you started walking down that path. But basically says sensational takedown content can pull a lot of views, but can also make you feel like you're forced to always go more and more outrageous, which can be corrosive. Protect/balance your well-being as well, 100%. Yeah, you don't want to get caught in that toxic loop. Yeah. It's like Depp, Heard, or politics, very engaged, divisive audience. Okay.
There's a fine line between like talking about what's going on and then talking about space isn't real.
Right.
Space isn't real. Yeah.
So Caribbean Captain is the next channel here. They say that if you're not able to do 1-verse-1 analysis, can you recommend something? Yeah. So we've already mentioned that on the Twitter thing. And then next up, we've got Yogi Marquise. They do wellness and lifestyle content. The question is, I'm learning new skills and tools to monetize my channel. Should I start a separate channel where I react to the instructional videos for tools like Opus Clip and other AI tools? It's up to you on the channels that you want to start, but when it comes to reacting to instructional videos, you got to think about the audience that would be available for that. So from a technical standpoint, we call that like total addressable market. But the idea that you want to think about is like how many people would actually be interested in watching me react to tutorial videos, essentially, or promotional videos. There might be an audience for that, but I would, I'm not sure, but I would, really look into that before you spend your time on that. Next up, we got Rodney Full Circle. Nice. Come for Full Circle. Does health and nutrition content. The goal is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, my videos feel weak. It's like I've got all the right ingredients, like making a beef stew, but somehow the final result still doesn't taste right. I only notice it weeks later. How can I taste my video while I'm making it so I know it's on the right track? I believe my videos are not good quality, not in terms of B-roll music or editing, but the actual content itself just isn't strong.
It's an interesting analogy.
It is. It's good that you are noticing that. And the reason that I believe that it's good that you're noticing that is because that means that you are learning and that you are able to identify, like, you know what, I could have done that better, which is good. That means you're heading in the right direction. So one thing that you can do to kind of speed that process up while you're working on a video is, if you have the time to do this, and I don't know if you do, but you can work on videos in advance. If you can just get one video ahead, it's better if you can get ahead a little bit more. Edit the video. You don't need to like fully render it out, but edit the video and then sit on it while you work on another video. And then by the time you're done with that other video, you can go back and watch that first video, and then you'll be able to see it with like a fresh eye and in a fresh perspective, because you're not embedded in that video, right? So, like when you're working on a video, you kind of, you're just in that video for a while, right? So because of that, you might overlook things that that you won't overlook if you just give yourself the time to focus on something else, to remove your brain from that video, and then you come back in and look at it with fresh eyes. So I would try that as one way to possibly, kind of fix that.
If I understand the question, they just want to know how to get better, how to identify.
Yeah, so what's happening is they publish a video and they say that their video feels weak, like they've got all the right stuff in there, but they're just not doing it right, and they don't notice it until like a couple of weeks later. So they publish the video and then they go back and look at it and they're like, that's just not really landing right there.
Okay, I'll say this.
While you're answering this, I can step away for just like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll say this. Ooh, and it stayed in focus, even though I got multiple. Nice. Hey, Roger Wakefield's in the house. How you doing, Roger?
Roger Wakefield.
Hope you're doing well. Got the Wakefield.
Hey, really quick.
Even though the helmets are covering it, got the Wakefield.
Yeah, so Roger, man, was just really quick, was giving you some love. I was on the podcast with Doug Piper that you were on, and we had just like a small segment where we were talking about how awesome you are.
Yeah, my take on this is getting better, and everyone in here in the chat, feel free to disagree with me if you do. We all make videos and we put them up on the platform, and then you come back at a later date and you might review the video and you might go, yeah, I could have said that better, or man, my audio was off. I should have taken the extra time to do this, or my lighting was off, or I didn't like, whatever. You can always pick your own stuff apart. And when you do that, it's really easy to start getting in your own way, right? You're putting hurdles in front of yourself, and then you can start overthinking things. You're on the right track by asking yourself, how can I make it better? But I wouldn't beat yourself up over videos that you put up. Just if you want to get better at it, look at a video that you put up and find one thing about that video. Don't try to overanalyze all of it and then overwhelm yourself. Try to find one thing with that video that you can improve next time. You're like, well, that video didn't really land. My editing was sloppy. I rambled on for too long before I put the cuts in. So next video, just focus on your editing and try to tighten it up. Or maybe your lighting was a little bit off. Fix your lighting in the next video. You know, the whole 1% better per video. Don't tackle everything. Try to fix one thing. And also keep this in mind. As content creators, of course, we want to milk this and get everybody to watch the videos as long as possible. That's what we're supposed to do, right? Get people watching, keep people watching. That's how YouTube rewards us. Yep. At the same time, and this is the balancing act, at the same time, we make it to the best of our ability, and then the audience decides if it's good or not. Right? They decide. We can come back and we can look at the data and say, well, you know, they're dropping off in the first 30 seconds, so I obviously blew the hook. But they ultimately decide. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how many videos you make, no matter how much experience you have, you're always going to be able to pick apart another video. You're always going to have analytics that show that the video you just made could have been better. Yep. So don't allow yourself to be bogged down or overwhelmed at the changes. Pick one thing to change per video. Try to improve that. If you know your editing is weak, then go watch editing tutorials. Go watch editing tutorials and figure out how you can edit better. But don't just be like, oh my God, I'm a bad storyteller. My editing's so weak. My lighting sucks. My audio's terrible. I'm terrible in front. That's too much. Yeah. Focus on the one thing. We all go through that. Yes. Every single creator I know, we all go through that. You upload a video. If I go back, one of the favorite things to do is go to large channels that have hundreds of videos and then sort by oldest. And you see the first... See the progression. Yeah. See the progression that they've gone through. And people that have left their videos up, you can see... That's pretty incredible if you do that to Mr. Beast and you see his progress. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Yeah, go to Mr. Beast, watch it, sort by oldest, go to video tab, sort by oldest, and watch his progression. Marquez Brownlee. Yeah. Same thing. He started as like Sniper Wolf. Yeah. Sniper Wolf. Like you can watch the progression of these people. And I guarantee you, and these are some of the most successful channels on the platform, they go back and look at those old videos and go, oh my God, that was terrible. I can't even believe I left that up there. Yep. But I'm glad they did because it puts perspective out there and it lets all of us trying to come up know that every creator on the platform also went through this. Everyone. And another thing that you might be able to do too, I mean, I don't know if you have other YouTubers in your life or not, but if not, trying to find, you know, communities where YouTubers hang out like this, or, you know, like Facebook groups or Discord communities or whatever, and try to find other content creators that you can send it off to get an honest feedback on your video. Yeah. That can also be valuable too. So when you do that sort of thing, what you do is you are basically like, hey, here is the video that I'm going to publish. Do you have anything that you think that I could do to make this better? And tell them to be honest, you know, because what you don't want is you don't want people being like, oh, hey, this is great. You know, everything's perfect with this video. I think you should publish it. Instead, be like, I don't want to hear any of the good stuff. Just tell me like what I need to improve. And then by doing that and getting that feedback, that can also be a good way to, you know, to see things that you might not see immediately, to where if you can find somebody you can trust for that. That's awesome, Roger. And let me say this, and of course, some of you are going to take it the wrong way. I like to go by, like, when I'm making content, all I can do is say, okay, your skill level is here. This is the best I can do right now. You know, everybody is their own worst enemy. We all, you know, we're critiques, and we're all like, oh my God, I hate the sound of my voice and how I look and whatever. But I say, this is the best I can do right now. And all I can do is just make a video to the best of my ability right now publish the video, see if it lands. Look, some of the best performing videos on my channel, I hate. I almost didn't publish them. If I go back and look at them, I just go, oh my God, my audio was terrible, my lighting was terrible, but the audience responded, which tells me I'm wrong, which means I am nitpicking myself, and I'm focusing on things that I thought
that the audience doesn't care about.
Right. I'm like, oh my God, listen to that. It's so my audio was bad, and the audience doesn't care. So I'm focusing on the thing that didn't matter. The only thing that matters is, did the audience respond or not? And if the answer is yes, then you're over-critiquing yourself. Not that you shouldn't learn how to do those things, but sometimes as creators, we focus on the stuff that doesn't matter.
Hey, really quick. So Roger says that he saw the original Stormtrooper helmet that was presented to George Lucas. Oh, okay.
That's amazing.
Okay, I was just letting you know.
Yeah, it's incredible.
All right. So next up we have. Interesting.
So one of his coach's house.
I know who that is right now. I already know who that is.
Listen.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Probably.
We have a mission.
Yeah. So Pips University.
You see me dropping down and you know whose house?
Yeah.
Going down to the floor. Yeah. Tom Cruise.
So Pips University uploads 1 time per week or more to do educational content. The goal is to quit your job and to be a full-time YouTuber. And the question is, I caught YouTube classifying my videos incorrectly. I saw this by checking the suggested videos, which I found all are totally not related to my video and channel and had a bad CTR and bad AVD. A video title started with number 4 and found that all the suggested videos titles also had numbers in their titles. Then after that, I changed the title by removing the number, and the video performed way better and became 1 out of 10. What other ways to check in order to see if YouTube is classifying your videos incorrectly? So I got some bad news for you. Oh, it's not who I think. Okay. So when it comes to, so we got to find another house to Mission Impossible into.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get, you know what? We'll get both of them just to be safe.
Just be safe, yeah.
To be safe.
Well, let's go to straight to George Lucas then, and make him tell us.
Right.
Yeah.
So George.
Yeah,
Lucas
George, who's got the helmet?
Yeah.
Who's got the helmet?
Right.
Tell us, George.
And did Roger Wakefield tell you? He didn't say it was a YouTube coach.
Right.
He just said my coach.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true.
Yeah.
He might be getting coached on how to make movies.
Yeah, it's true.
Or how to raise money for like large projects.
Yeah.
Or how to hire a director.
So really quick on the suggested videos before we get off track. So when it comes to the suggested videos, what you're seeing right there isn't necessarily what you think you're seeing. So when it comes to suggested videos, keep in mind that YouTube, especially when you first publish your video, YouTube is suggesting content to the people that are most likely to enjoy that content, regardless of where they're at on the platforms. That's why you get to see all kinds of weird stuff in your suggested videos. So basically, what you are looking at there is if you go to suggested videos right now, what you're going to see over in the sidebar on any video is some of the videos are topically immediately relevant to the video that you're watching. Other videos are just other videos other videos that YouTube thinks would be a good fit for you that you might be interested in. So when you see that you're getting traffic from other videos on YouTube that are not even remotely closely related to the content that you're publishing, it's because you have other people or because you have people watching those videos that YouTube thinks is a good fit for your content based on all the data that they have on those users. In addition to that, if you go and you look at suggested videos, another thing that you're going to see is that you can sort suggested videos. So since you can sort suggested videos, you can also look for videos on a topic. You can look for videos from the same creator. You can look for just other videos that you think, there's a bunch of chips up there that you can click on to sort suggested videos as well. So when you see that you're getting suggested videos from weird places, it doesn't necessarily mean that your videos have been categorized wrong. It means that YouTube has viewers there that are a good fit for your content. Now, when you remove the number 4 from your video, the thing that could have happened there is that number 4 could have, for whatever reason, caused people to not respond as well to your titles of that video or your thumbnail, whichever one you removed it from. So yes, it's possible YouTube put you in the wrong place. I'm not saying that it's not, but it's more likely that the viewers that you're trying to reach were actually there, and because of that, YouTube is showing your content to people there. So, because of that, what you're seeing there doesn't necessarily translate into what you think that it translates into. And this is a really common problem. So it's not that you're like making some huge mistake or anything. It's that a lot of people are like, hey, I'm getting recommended, like if they make like fishing content, I don't know why I used that as a reference recently, but anyway,
You're on that.
Yeah, I know. If you're making fishing content, and then you see that you're getting, recommendations from like a food or a gaming channel, just as a, wild reference there, then in that particular case, you had some viewers that were watching those videos that YouTube's like, hey, you would love this fishing content too, because you might be watching other fishing content. You might have watched content from this channel before, that sort of thing. You might have recently been searching for fishing related stuff. So because of that, then YouTube, is going to recommend your videos over there. And really quick, Renee, who works at YouTube, he says that he's their creator liaison. He's the bridge between us, content creators, and YouTube. And he says suggested videos are based on diverse viewer interests, not creator topic. A viewer could be watching a basketball video and then click on your cooking video in the sidebar. So it's it's kind of like a shortened version of a homepage, right? In terms of them just recommending content there that the viewers are most likely to enjoy. Let's see here. So really quick, fact or fiction. Hey, Renee, this might be a myth-busting one for you. It says, fact or fiction, leaving a video is unlisted for 24 hours before publishing in public will improve reach. I recently heard this and tried it, but I didn't see any real difference. So the only thing that matters is what happens at the time of publish. Having your videos being unlisted for 24 hours doesn't matter. What matters is have the videos processed so that everybody that wants to watch that video will get the quality that they want, and how do people respond to that video at the time of publish. And then from that point forward, that's the only thing that matters. What happens before that video goes live it doesn't matter at all. And right here, Renee, who works at YouTube, he also mentions here that it's fiction. So yeah, you got to be real careful with that kind of stuff. Because what you're going to see is when you're watching videos about YouTube, like help related content, because that's probably where you ran across this, or
so
just
much bad
it is, or just people talking about stuff on Reddit, is you're going to find all these weird things that people come up with that they credit video performance to, and with that. A lot of it is just hot air. Like at the end of the day, here's what's important when it comes to YouTube. You have to make content on topics that people care about. You have to be able to help them identify from the outside that content matters to them in some particular way, so they'll click on it. And then from there, once they come into the video, you have to create a great experience for them so that they will enjoy that content. YouTube, with all of the things that they track while they're watching that video, will deem that as a satisfactory experience for the viewer. Then you have to rinse and repeat that process for every single viewer that YouTube is presenting that content to.
You know what would be
and even better if you can keep people coming back to the channel for even more of that over and over again.
I know they're not going to do it because they would probably have to, I don't know, take people off the mobile team. That's a joke. But for YouTube education content, because the platform is YouTube, like they should have some sort of a community note under videos where it's like, you can report like, yeah, I don't think that's true. And then somebody can actually review that and go, no, that's not true. And then like can get like a little flag on that video that says this isn't actual.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like this.
Yeah, so it's community notes. So I know they are working on community notes, but like official community notes would be awesome.
Official community notes for YouTube.
Yeah.
For YouTube educators.
Yeah, that would be great.
By YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTube can say, no, this isn't what's happening.
That would be fantastic.
Because of all the bad information out there, it's sending people down the wrong path.
And it would correct people. So like, for example, if I had one of those show up on my video, then I would be like, hey, what the? No, I'm just kidding. I would be like, I'd be like, okay, well, I made a mistake. So now, now I know that. So then I know not to say that again. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Renee says those exist for health topics and climate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
YouTube education advice should, if like, corrected
specifically YouTube education. Yeah.
Because people are coming onto the platform being led astray.
Right.
Like if you just happen to go down the wrong rabbit hole and you get in front of some of the wrong people, you think all these crazy things and you think this matters, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That would just be great.
Just he says they don't correct, but they do point to authoritative sources. Yeah.
Correct it.
Yeah. That community notes. But with that, though, they would have to, hire people for it and stuff like that. But I think it'd be valuable to the community at scale. Because then you would make sure that, like, okay, if we're training up a bunch of content creators to thrive on the platform, then like these are, this particular information, isn't accurate. And he does a good job at that through the myth busting content.
Yeah.
But they have to go and find that myth busting content, or it has to be recommended to them, or they have to, actually watch it to learn the information.
You're uploading the video. Does this give advice on YouTube? Is this a YouTube specific? Like, is this?
To where it notifies them, and then they're like, "Yeah, bam."
Right, like you have to check a box. Is this YouTube?
That'd be kind of cumbersome though for like YouTube at scale, since most people don't make YouTube content, right?
Well, just don't check it then.
Yeah,
it's just one extra thing.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I don't have the answers.
But yeah,
I think
that would be.
It's their own platform. Like they should like do a better job at making sure people aren't being misled.
Yeah, I agree. So next up,
make some calls, Renee. Make it happen.
So next up, we've got, hold on, let me make sure I got that last question here from Pips. Okay, Pips University. Did we do this one? Pips. Okay, yeah, we did Pips. Okay, so next up,
Pips.
We've got Fishcamp TV. Fishcamp TV says, what metrics does YouTube need to see to grant me the community tab enabled? I've been denied, although you have the tab and others have it, when they can post on my community. I need this feature to grow. I don't think they have rolled that out to everyone yet. I don't think. I know it's something that they are rolling out, but I don't know I don't know if everybody has that or not yet. I think they're still kind of in the process of rolling that out to people. All right. And on that note, I do want to say, if you are a new content creator, or you are at that point where you're like publishing videos and things just aren't working out, the way that you had hoped with the videos that you're publishing, just remember that YouTube is a learning curve. And when you are, hitting those walls, it just means that there's more to learn. And usually those things that you need to learn are based around understanding the people that you're trying to reach with your content, understanding what you're trying to do on YouTube in the first place, and the skills around creating the content. That comes down to learning how to write effective titles, through learning stuff about copywriting. That means learning how to make effective thumbnails, through learning principles of like photography and design. That means learning how to capture people's attention when they come into the video. Yep. That means learning how to just create an overall good experience in your video content. And within all of those things, there's tons and tons of nuance. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I'm still learning stuff all the time that, that helps me do better in some videos. So when it comes to all of this stuff, just embrace the learning curve. And the more you focus on your skill development, the better you're going to end up doing over time, because the more skills that you develop, it helps you be able to see things differently. And when you can see things differently, then it helps you be able to identify things better and more efficiently with everything it is that you're doing. So hang in there. You got this. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out. D, great stream.
Yep, great stream. May the 4th be with you all tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
May the 4th be with you. And stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.
Yep.
Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning in, engage. Just take a second to smash the whole page.